Hello, welcome to the Xirtus.
SyncTank.
Begun. The clown war has. Pretty much, yeah. I don't know. That just felt like the vibe this week. So, how you guys been?
It's been the
I
vibe
think
for
I'm a
years now.
clone now. There's always two of me just a hanging around. I
There's a
think I'm
good Alice
clone
Cooper
now.
song about being
Every pair of
cloned.
jeans is a hand-me-down.
So you were telling me that Tiffany. Oh no, that wasn't Tiffany. That was somebody else. Well, no, that was Tiffany. That was Tiffany, right? Who did I think we're alone
Yeah,
now?
that song.
Okay.
I think we're
So,
cloned
like,
now.
you told me about that autistic man that you were kind of conflating with Leroy, who has the Mariah Carey thing. But there's another guy
Right.
who there's a documentary made about a Tiffany thing, and she just showed up on the scene. I saw people reacting to her on Twitter that people can't fathom that like women get older. Like it's just like it doesn't compute.
Yeah, how
for
dare
people.
they?
Like,
Really?
yeah,
I
you're
mean,
just like, what happened to her? And you're like, I don't know, maybe 40 something years. I don't know what happened to her. What are you saying? She sounds great.
How come
And
her
that's the
lips
thing,
still look?
though.
it's because they don't use enough foreskin facials. You know that works. Like it's all
doesn't
it takes.
You need the board, and otherwise, you're just going to waste all that schmuck? Come on,
Yeah.
incredible value, for various things, not just facial.
You know that guy who made the that like the Alex Jones song, Nick Lutzko? You know the guy that Alex was like, I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. I'm listening. They're a bunch of Christian murder scum. Eating babies alive and selling their body parts. He's got like he has like another bunch of songs. Like I hadn't listened to them all before. I didn't realize he was so prolific. But he has a song like Whatever Happened to the Gremlins and like Where Have All the Gremlins Gone? And he has like 4 different Spirit Halloween store songs. Where Did All the Gremlins Go is a great song because it's like we could have had Gremlins 4, 5, 6, and 7, but instead we got COVID and 9/11.
No,
And
what we got was the Critters films, which is like kind of
true.
like an offshoot, and they both kind of are inspired from Dark Skies, the original script from which E.T. and Poltergeist came from.
I have a theory that they're actually I have base rooted them in a real event. There was an event where a farm
World War II.
No. There was an event where this
World War
like
II is just an
redneck
idea.
family was overcome by aliens, I think in the 50s or 60s.
Oh, right. I think this, yeah.
And I'm not sure because I know the whole like general lore about the Gremlins and Poltergeist and all of that being related.
Yeah.
So I don't know like the ultimate source of where they actually came from. It's just funny that Critters plays almost in tune to this actual event that happened where it was like these
Right.
I mean, isn't Gremlins kind of like about immigration policies or something? Because it's like they're coming through this like Chinese market. It's like Temu or something like that.
I've
And they're-
thought this before. I thought
It's
that
totally
COVID has a sync connection, COVID specifically to the to Gremlins in so many ways. There's also like you could just treat this thing like if you're responsible, because literally, let's be clear, Mogwai means demon in Chinese. That's what the word means. The demon itself, the Mogwai itself, Gizmo, is not necessarily problematic like as such. Like there's
He's
even
like
the
a
symbolism of
Pokemon.
him
I
being
mean,
Gizmo because of Hoyt Axton. By the way, even for them to
okay.
choose Hoyt Axton feels symbolic. Like that guy wrote Joy to the World, he wrote The Pusher, but anyway, and he's in the Black Stallion too. He's great. He's a great musician. Listen to the music of Hoyt Axton, the dad in Gremlins. It's excellent. But anyway, yeah, no, I totally feel you that there's these rules. And if you don't follow the rules, all hell breaks loose. And like it feels like the Gremlins was a lab leak. I had that thought in 2020 that there's some weird, I wasn't thinking immigration, but I was thinking like, this thing that takes over. It's like, dude, if you just fucking did your shit, like if you knew how to handle your shit, this wouldn't be a problem. But people just acted irresponsibly, and now we all have to freaking deal.
Christmas, like, because a really weird part of Gremlins is the father died at Christmas.
Yeah.
She thought he ran away because he was unable to deal with the responsibility of bringing presents home. And in
Right.
fact, he died trying to be Santa Claus,
Yeah.
right? Because he dies in the chimney becoming Santa Claus because he was so trying to be Santa Claus, which is
sounding
like
very
what
drunk.
You're gonna
father
make me
would do.
cry, dude. You're gonna bring it all back to me.
Capitalism,
oh.
consumerism killed Santa Claus, killed Christ, killed your Christmas, killed your
Right.
childhood.
There's also the cocaine
Christ
connection.
isn't good for business.
You know that.
Yeah,
So,
the coke, can you handle your
well, there's a lot to it, but I can't get into it all. But Bright Lights, Big City. Okay, this also strange attracts with Lost Boys. So you have this. It's the archetype casting of these movies that you have. What was her name? Wendy? Was it Kate? What's the girl's name? Maybe it doesn't matter, but
I think it's Kate.
the Kate, yeah. So Kate and Gremlins, right? Like I love it in the sequel when they it's like a Mad Magazine movie, but it's like when she
Yeah,
tries to bring up,
like
don't
crap.
talk about Easter, and then she starts to tell an Easter story, and then Billy is just like, just stop or whatever, and she's like, okay. But
that's the thing about the new batch is basically a Mad Magazine like spoof on Gremlins.
totally, exactly.
Yeah,
And
he
so,
wasn't going to make it unless he got to make it a satire.
yeah, so that
Wait,
actress,
sequel.
that actress in Bright Lights, Big City, which also like this is all connected, right? Like I could go off on a bunch of stuff, but like if you've ever seen Bright Lights, Big City, like this is about Michael J. Fox with a like serious cocaine addiction, and this was his ex-girlfriend, and she's left him, and she's like, kind of like living it up with kind of a New York elite, and then he's just like getting worse and worse and worse, and he has this whole thing going on with her, but his friend was Keither Sutherland, and Keither Sutherland has now like basically like he's friends with her, but he's like they're all like judging Michael J. Fox, but there's this weird thing where like Keither Sutherland in Bright Lights, Big City feels like he's still playing a vampire, like. And in all these movies, including like, I'm sorry, I'm going to go all over the place, but like Teen Wolf, like it's sunglasses everywhere. You notice it, and actually bright light, like so obviously like Lost Boys is like you have to wear this. Michael has to wear the sunglasses when
At
it's
night.
at night, and then he's turning into a vampire, right? And then like in if you've seen Teen Wolf, he's got the glasses thing.
Yeah.
It's like central
It's
to the
like
thing,
the symbol
and
of
then
transformation, right?
and
It's
it
like
all
almost a disguise.
yeah. So and it
Superhero-
all
or superhero mask.
it culminates with the very end of Bright Lights, Big City, when Michael J. Fox takes his sunglasses that he's been wearing which are symbolic of his whole like his relationship to this world that he's kind of like found. It's also kind of like the story of the Pearl, where the prince goes to Egypt and he forgets why he's there, and he gets caught up with like the Egyptian royalty, but he's there to retrieve this pearl from this snake, and then he like remembers who he is. It's kind of similar to that. And then he like trades his after he reconciles his mother's death, which by the way is the mother in Lost Boys. So in Bright Lights Big City, same mother, right? And he's like, she's died, and he's like reconciling this whole thing with her, and he trades his sunglasses in the morning for bread. And he's like, and he just like, it's exchange. And then he goes and stares at the two towers for like a while. And then the movie like ends on that point. Yeah, it's super crazy. But yeah, no, it's just, I don't know. It's a lot to get into. But like, I just want to say that there's some like serious archetype casting going on between those particular 80s movies, you know. And she's that woman in Gremlins, and her story even to me has been kind of like central to it. Like, because like it's also like the Christmas thing that's the darkest time,
which I think is another kind of like, there's something, you know, what do you, you know,
right,
scissors constantly. There's another, I'm trying to remember what else she's in. She's in The Mule. She's in a couple weird movies as well.
Who's she? Wait, who is she in Edward Scissorhands? I thought, well, I'm thinking Winona Ryder,
Peg.
but is she also in it?
She's Peg. Peg's the mom of the other girl, right?
Oh, is she Winona Ryder's mother? I can't remember. It's been a while.
Here, let's pull it up. Edward Scissorhands, Diane Peg.
Oh yeah, Diane Weiss. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the mother. The mother. I thought we were talking about the girl in Gremlins, but yeah, I dig it. Yeah. Oh, trippy. So this movie really, to me, kind of strange attracts Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael. Whereas this is like Winona Ryder with the all black, and then that's Winona Ryder with the all pink, you know? Although I guess she was black, and then she went to the pink because she wants to embody Roxy Carmichael. That's probably
another big part of this movie is the bully is like steroidally large, weird science actor.
Oh,
right?
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall. Once he got ripped because he went from playing the nerd to being like,
oh, that's true.
He went. Oh, you're making a good point. He went from being opposite Chet to being Chet from Weird Science.
Right. Exactly.
Like, cool. That's dope. That's dope. I like that. Because he does weird shit too. Like, isn't he like fucking, what's that Stephen King, The Dead Zone? Isn't Anthony Michael Hall become like The Dead Zone or whatever?
I don't think so.
He definitely like went. Yeah, he was in that movie. I think the transition's Johnny Be Good, because that's the one where he's like a jock that's trying to be scholarship approved. And so he realizes being like the mainstream jock is that transition period where jocks were still kind of sought after and nerds weren't quite recognized as, I mean, right? Because that's what happened was
Revenge of the Nerds was the turning point for that. And people had to like adjust to that. They're like, wait, the jocks are the bad guys?
Yeah.
I thought the jocks were the good guys.
Yeah, which is falling down. You know, it's the Michael Douglas.
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah.
Wait, I'm the bad guy? Yeah. But also you're the inadequate one, because no one needs the jock at that point. They just need someone who knows how to run the machines. So Revenge of the Nerds transition happens at that time. And that's also simultaneous to Uma Thurman being in what's that movie where she's like with John Malkovich, who he's like constantly like molesting her in like the 17th century in France. Like one of the first
Dangerous Liaisons.
Yeah, that's it.
Dangerous Liaisons. Yeah, exactly. I think that's probably relevant.
Hit the buzz. Like, what is that? There's a remake of that with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Felipe. That's called shucks. But yeah, that's Dangerous Liaisons with John Malkovich, because that's where I'm pretty sure that's where we get the archetype of Gambit from X-Men.
Oh, really?
That movie in particular, and his French accent that gave spawn to Gambit's like Creole origins.
Weird. This is too Glenn Close for comfort, this movie. But it's not as too Glenn Close for comfort as Fatal Attraction, but still. Yeah.
Dude, speaking of strong woman actors, who just died that we were just talking about?
Whoa, they just showed JD Vance on IMDb immediately. That's crazy.
That's her. That's like, she really thought she was gonna get her
She thought she was getting an
actress.
Oscar for sure. There's even like the scene where you know that she thought this is my Oscar clip moment. Yeah.
Cruel
and then-
Intentions. Cruel Intentions is
Oh.
basically Dangerous Liaisons.
Dude, did you hear about Diane Keaton's like private messages where she was like saying she was going to leave the Democratic Party and she wasn't really going to support the Democrats anymore, and like this whole crazy thing where it's like, you know, that's super suspicious. I think somebody took her out, dude. Like she wasn't that old. Like this is super weird.
That's way too many sacrifices.
No, I saw it.
for
Candace
one
Owens was
quarter.
going off about it, dude. There's like Diane Keaton was like totally not even in support of the whole Hollywood scene anymore. Like she had totally like, and it was like a few days before, like a week before, she was like, I'm done with all this. And then look what happens. Sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, she did. I think Annie Hall, like her relationship with Woody Allen
I'm
after
suspecting foul play.
Mia Farrow, right?
Oh, right. That's real too, right? So like she got caught up in that. This is the
I'll
whole.
come back.
They
She
totally
played
connected.
Mia Farrow in a lot of ways because Annie Hall is a sort of relationship movie where Woody Allen's talking about dating this sort of like New English wasp Goyam and her psychotic brother, right? There's the scene with Christopher Walken where he talks about how he wants to steer his car into oncoming traffic. And, you know, Woody Allen's like, yeah, this is what it's like to be around Goyam, Christopher Walken, Annie Hall.
I have this theory that all of the actors that play in Woody Allen movies, all of the men are basically playing in Woody Allen, and I base this off of like
That's direction. That's him. He wants to make
Yeah.
everyone act like Woody Allen. But then you have Jason Alexander, who was Woody Allen in Seinfeld, and then became, you know, his own. He stepped into his own eventually. But yeah,
well, I mean, it's like
mean, he was, Larry
Midnight in
David.
Paris, Owen Wilson.
his role is modeled after Larry David for sure. But like what he brought to it in his own words was like he says, I was just playing Woody Allen, like from what he was, you know, and you in the seasons, like if you know that, you could just see he's just being Woody Allen. And then eventually he's like, who is George really, you know? And then he came up with like, you know, something else. But
Well, the story was that I think it was the episode where they have the bet for who can last the longest, right?
yeah,
Where he said, "What kind of an idiot would do this? No one would do this." And Larry David said, "I did."
he
That's
did
a
it.
true story.
This is a
Yeah,
true
and then
story.
That's the moment where you're like, "Oh, George is Larry," and then he's kind of refined
Right.
how he's playing it. Oh, by the way,
Totally.
your theory about Diane Keaton, I recalled she directed an episode of Twin Peaks, and the name of that episode is Slaves and Masters.
Oof. Oof. Wow. Really? Wow. Ooh.
Yeah, I just checked.
Interesting.
I mean, it's middle second season, so
right, but I'm thinking, I'm processing right now. Like
How old would she have been? Like, yeah, that's like
you're talking about second season Twin Peaks, is what you're
yeah,
saying?
second season, so like 91. So I'm not sure when she was born.
episode 22.
I guess William was saying she's 82, so she would have been what, like 50 or 62.
Yeah, something like that.
Little story about Jack and Diane. Weren't they in multiple movies together, Jack Nicholson and
The
Diane Keaton?
77
Weren't they like
should
Yes,
have been
that's
like
for sure.
Wouldn't have been that old.
That's for sure. I don't know all of the list, but yeah, there's like a little bit of a
So Diddy connects in through that song because it's a little ditty about Jack and Diane, right?
she's kind of got a windy feeling from Shining, right? Like
Yeah, but Wendy's in Annie Hall with, like, you were talking about Annie Hall, and I'm immediately thinking of her. But yeah, because she's a Rosicrucian in Annie Hall, and she makes the whole point
what
of
was the name
Right.
of the Slaves and Masters is what you said. Okay.
She would have been in her 50s because she was
Directed
77,
by
not
Diane
82.
Keaton, directed by Diane Keaton. Writers Harley Penton, Robert Ingalls. Wait,
Robert Ingalls.
yeah, is that Robert Ingalls? Is that the Robert Ingalls?
So when they took it, because they were all Lynch, and then season 2 was the one where they screwed him, right? Like that's the deal. Yeah.
Well, they forced him to reveal the killer, and he never.
But it's
wanted.
more than that. The whole time that he was having a power struggle with them. It wasn't just the
I'm
reveal.
tired
It
of
was
your
like,
games, Lynch.
Yeah.
Everybody was, because it was mostly because of ratings and because of like fan outlash. They wanted to know the cliffhanger.
yeah, I feel like it was another example where you know, where they were trying to be so safe. They're trying to play it safe, and he had a bigger vision. And he's like, he knew that this would have a lasting value. This is not just a week-to-week show. This has a future. And they're not thinking of it like that. They're just thinking like, you got to just keep it coming because this is how they operate. You know, it's real that they didn't understand in this case. You know, sometimes they do. Sometimes there is like a profit. You know, but he's like, dude, this is the whole future. You're gonna be selling box sets of this. Like, this could be something else. Like, you know, yeah.
What's really odd though is that the revelation, that episode, is one of the most intense pieces of television put on. Like, I can't even believe they aired it. It's so intense,
Yeah.
so dark. And then he just pieced out. Like, he made this masterpiece, and then he's just like, okay, I'm not really going to be around until the end of that season. It's really wild.
But you have Fire Walk with Me was after that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, which is unbelievable. But yeah, he also directed the last I think the last 2 episodes of season 2, if not then the last episode. And you can notice
well, fighting them the whole time, so whatever.
Will, go ahead. I was going to ask after though. Will sent a link, but go ahead first.
I'll tag something from a half hour ago. The Gremlins. If it relates to COVID, one of the rules was stay out of the sunshine.
Yeah, no, I know. I've tripped the freak out on it, and like, yeah, there's a lot going on. It's the wet market. You don't get them wet,
right?
You know.
Right. I mean, they're from from like their origin point. It's like a pet that you're.
And you know, Dybbuk is COVID backwards in Hebrew.
Okay.
So the Dybbuk is very relatable. You know.
And also, it's all about them overcrowding, right? They there's the famous scene of them in the theater, or we didn't get to go to theaters, you know, all that.
Oh, totally.
But that's what happens. Like one Mogwai makes 6 Mogwais, makes like 1,000 gremlins, right?
Right,
like,
and then
this exponential thing.
The whole woke movement kind of culminated with Snow White. The remake of Snow White. So keep in mind, Snow White was the first animated feature film ever. More went into Snow White than anything. This is what the Gremlins are watching in the theater, and they're watching Snow White, and they love it. And what happened when they released Snow White? People hated it. It just it bombed pretty hard.
You know why?
It was there was all the investment.
Thing. There is if you look up the marketing for Snow White, they had hired a whole bunch of dwarves. Like midgets, little people, dwarfism, individuals who were small to dress up like the 7 dwarfs and hang out on top of like, what is it, like Radio Music Hall or Broadway, like whatever big movie house was in New York City at the time. And all of them got drunk and started like cussing at the crowd and throwing bottles.
That's what happens in Under the Rainbow. You've seen that with Carrie Fisher and Chevy Chase about the midgets in the Wizard of Oz. You seen that?
There's a movie about
originally
that?
They were paid to moon the Disney company, right?
Yeah.
Like they got a busload of the little people, Metro Goldwyn-Mayer, and then they brought them in front of the Disney studios and paid them to all take off their pants and bend over out the window and moon Disney.
So you know that one little person who's in Willow, who's the like, go in the direction that the bird is going, and then he's like, forget the bird, follow the river. That wizard guy. So like he's like a main character in Under the Rainbow, but he's
Billy B. Billy.
You got it?
Billy B. Billy.
Oh, you're close.
Billy Barty. Billy Barty.
Yeah, and he's in I was gonna say Night of the Lepus, but Day of the Locust or Night of the Locust, whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about?
Billy Barty's amazing from UHF.
Love the fact that you said the Lepus play. The Lepus.
Warren Bertson.
We're bringing all the blacks.
Dude, there he is. So he plays a Nazi in Under the Rainbow who's like sent to like be like undercover in the hotel where all the little people for the Wizard of Oz are like just going wild. So like it's just like it's such a bad movie, Under the Rainbow, but it's like it's so good at the same time. Like it's like a C movie, but it's just whatever was happening there. Must have just been like a Hoff amount of coke. Like it was just like that movie it's one of the most coked out movies ever.
A whole
Billy Barty was a munchkin. He was in so many movies. I like that he was in basically everything. He was in He-Man. In the 80s, he did like everything, you know. He was in He-Man, UHF. He was in a bunch of Spike Jonze things.
Was he part of the Lollipop
Gold
Guild?
Diggers.
Because I seem
Bride
to
of
remember.
Frankenstein.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you probably just said it, but yeah.
No, wait, which one were you say?
Billy Barty was in the Wizard of Oz. Like that's one of the first images that popped in my head when I saw his face just then. When you brought him up,
He's
like,
at Emerald City, right? Is he the one who? Wait,
yeah. No. Is he in Emerald City or is like?
I thought he was the one who like.
Look it up.
Oh, no. Wasn't he? I feel like he like opens up the. He's the one messing with him at the window. Like,
That
no,
guy
is that somebody else? That's somebody
has, like,
else.
3 different
I
roles.
can't even visually. Yeah. No, I'm.
I
tripping.
thought he was one of the Lollipop Guild, but
He's
I thought
probably
he was one of the
Lollipop
Lollipop
Guild.
Guild.
He
Yeah, he's
is one of the Lollipop Guild.
And you can see his face and like your mental image. Like,
Is he the green one? Is he the center?
let's
I
check
can't
this
tell.
out. Last Surviving Munchkin. No.
Wait, was Zelda Rubinstein in the? No, she
Oh.
was. Was she in Under the Rainbow? Am I tripping?
Well,
Like,
he did voiceovers for a whole bunch of stuff too. it looks like.
Rescuers. Yeah, wow. Dude, this is crazy going back all the way. I don't actually wait. Is he not in Wizard of Oz, and we just want him to be? Because I'm not seeing it.
no, he had to have been. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. It's got to be earliest in his career, right? I mean, come on. What are we looking at? We're looking at the 30s right now. What happened?
27 goes back to Mickey's Circus.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
He's just nonstop making movies all of his life. Monkey
Right.
Business, Mickey's Circus. I don't even know what Mickey's Circus is. I gotta look into that. Is that a thing we can watch with Mickey Rooney?
Oh,
Mickey
there you
Rooney.
go. That's why.
Right.
So was Mickey? Wow, that's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird.
Well,
There's kind of a lot. There's a lot.
yeah. There's so much to process right now.
Dude, it's so
Yeah.
prolific. It's crazy. Oh my God.
And then that's like, yeah, that makes total sense as far as like what is the Dark Lodge or whatever. I mean,
Oh, he was in Snow White, the 87 version.
he's in
the Disney
Oz.
Snow White
He's
thing.
like his whole.
Oh God, I forgot
archetype
about
of-
that one.
Oh,
Jesus.
Israeli Canon made. I was wondering like who made that. That's crazy.
There you go. Those guys, those brothers. That's nuts, dude.
I liked this one. I also liked Happily Ever After, the weird sequel. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a sequel to Snow White. I feel like that's the most underrated Snow White movie. Basically, like the witch is dead, and so the wizard, who's like the sorcerer brother, finds out, and he wants to kill Snow White, and so he like steals the prince and makes him all ugly and horrible. And there's just like the dwarves made enough money and invest in, futures commodities exchanges, so they leave, and then they give their land to their cousins, like these dwarf elves, who are these chicks, like all these female dwarves, man.
Hey,
That was a weird movie.
Can we get away with just showing? I want Will and maybe I guess the audience to see the preview for Under the Rainbow. Can we just do that?
Yeah, I think we
It's almost like
might.
it's just like describing this movie to people. It's like, does this
Netflix.
really exist? Like, it's so over the top. But yeah, I feel like we could get away with copyright for a preview of Under the Rainbow. Like,
Well, we damn well will try. All right, hold on here.
Okay.
Let's see what we got.
this is
I
totally.
could
worth
probably even. I mean, I wonder how they're gonna act with sound. But we're gonna give it a shot. Just because.
Okay, I hope we don't get cut off and have to have
Whatever,
this a
let's
two-parter.
do it. No guts,
Yeah.
no glory.
What the hell's going on here?
Guess what happened when 150 midgets checked into a hotel in Hollywood to make one of the world's biggest movies?
I want a room.
Great plot already. That's like
Yeah,
the best.
the whole
pitch ever.
premise. Yeah, when they pitched
For a
this, you
cocaine
just know
film
they're
in the
just like,
80s, that's already
I
a good
give this
start.
project a green light.
What happened to that hotel and to Hollywood has to be seen to be believed. Now, the real madness can be shown.
Give me my bucket. That's my favorite bucket.
This is literally. I mean, why would Disney want CGI dwarves? Dwarves are the most fun people. Little people are big parties, big fun. Little people are big fun. That should be the title of our movie.
It's not a bad idea to pause this too. It's not a bad idea to just pause this every so often so they don't be like, "Hey, you're playing this clip. What is this?"
That is a good way to do it.
So they
I
don't get
feel
mad
like,
at us. But
Yeah,
this is a
we'll
lot
even do this thing where like you bring your head in the screen and we'll look at it. I'll do this right here. Here we go.
It's not short on action.
It's not short on action. Oh man. Remember the 80s? Remember when you could say stuff like that? Like, hey,
I
we're making
remember.
a big movie. The big screen, like, the little people are coming to the big screen, and it's not short on action.
It's not short on danger.
I could have held the elevator,
Oh, the
sir.
same
And
joke
it's not
twice?
short on romance.
How do you look at that?
United
Like,
States Secret Service.
And I suppose that's your gun, huh?
Oh no.
Is it?
Okay, that's
Is
offensive.
Chevy
Okay,
Chase?
That's classic Chevy Chase.
Is
though.
Chevy
How
Chase
is it
only funny if you take like an eighth, like you need like an eighth of coke, like an eighth of an ounce of cocaine to find it funny?
Chevy Chase is funny. Chevy
That's
Chase.
so offensive. Okay, so they're doing the rule of three, right? With their joke of short on this, short on that. Then they say short on romance, and then it's two fully grown people having romance. What it should have been is
It's not short on romance. I
Oh,
believe.
It's
not
like
short.
the-
Oh,
the short is
Right,
a dick
right.
joke too, right? Like it's,
right. But it should have been.
Mhm.
But we are short on stature, and then
It's not short on excitement either.
They're gonna go for. There's gonna just. I think they just think short is funny. 'Cause they're-
All kinds of excitement.
Not bad.
Dude, Billy Barty got Carrie Fisher. That, you know what? The man lived a dream.
And
He's
you better
an
believe
undercover
it's
Nazi.
not
in this, I'm telling you. It starts with
short
Hitler
on
sends him
laughs.
here.
It
In
started
person.
Hitler what?
Hitler sends him to this hotel to be an undercover. Like it's like, and it starts out like he's in Germany and he's like in full Nazi apparel and in the office, in Hitler's office, and Hitler's like, "Look, I want you to go and do this thing for me." And then you're like, "Didn't they just kill anybody that had any abnormality like that?" But it's like, well, I guess whatever.
what's
you
his
know.
mission? What's his
You
mission?
can't believe everything you see in the movies, you know?
But it's
That's
kinda
complicated. It's
freaky, right?
complicated. It has to do with the
right?
dog.
It feels like with our experience as far as like GPT is concerned, like chatbots and stuff like that, it feels like our whole childhood was written by fucking artificial intelligence at this point.
For you, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I have to
It's
think about that.
weird, bro. Like the short on
It is weird.
stature, short on this, and short on that. You can't really figure out if it was like that had to happen to become part of like chatbots humor.
Dude, I can see Don Draper in the room where they're figuring out how. First of
Yeah.
all, like even just to,
Yeah,
when this movie was pitched in the first place, like, all
Yeah.
right, this is what it is. Remember, there's a
Yeah.
hotel with all the little people, you know, and like
Yeah.
we're gonna, yeah. Oh,
I think,
green
yeah,
line.
60-year-old
Lots of
Jews from New York on cocaine
Yeah.
is a good enough explanation for most things from the 80s. Like, honestly, that covers most of what happened, and it's totally fine. I mean, or Scottish cocaine
Don
addicts,
Draper
too.
on cocaine.
Canadian, Scottish, like Naked Gun, Airplane, like those kind of movies. Those are all like a Scotch drunk Canadian who's been, you know what I mean? Like you can tell that's the kind of humor that some people.
Where's
have.
my residuals? Where's my residuals?
He looks like
Oh my God, I just saw he has a little mustache.
All kinds of
I'm gonna keep looking at Carrie
You
Fisher.
just wanna-
getting
yeah,
closer
you
and
just
closer and over in.
excitement.
Not bad.
But you see that? I didn't see it at first.
Yep.
Oh, a little Hitler mustache.
And you better believe it's not short on laughs.
I believe it's not good.
I'm gonna miss you too.
No time for pygmy perversion.
They're gonna undress her again? How many times did she get undressed in this movie? Oh my God.
You will cooperate or I'll blow your brains out.
If you haven't already guessed, it'll be out shortly.
It's like, okay, it's like Blink 182. Like, how many times are they gonna say?
Chevy Chase, Carrie Fisher, and 150 of Hollywood's smallest
And 150 to the bitches.
stars in Under the Rainbow,
Wow,
a giant comedy.
a giant comedy of little people. That's, I mean, it's self-irreverent, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. It had to
That's
happen.
pretty good.
You know the
Kelly Hopkins kill you were gonna bring up though earlier. If you wanted to show that, Will.
oh
No, it's relevant. It's totally relevant, man.
All right, I'm hearing you out. Because
So, like,
UFOs.
This is the
midgets.
one. Like, scroll down, you'll even see a size chart on like where it was and how big the aliens were to humans. Like, hit that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're tiny.
They were like, it was speculation that they were owls and that these individuals shot like, I think it's like over 100 rounds, man.
Did they ever work themselves into one giant ball and just like roll to kill a bunch of people?
Right, like the
that
Critters
happened?
movie? Perfect.
That was the second
Exactly.
Critters, by the way.
But that's
And,
what it was. Like,
Leonardo DiCaprio, his first movie he was ever in was Critters 3, which is like the towering inferno Critters movie, right? Where they're in that big building. Yeah.
What year was that incident in? 55?
oh,
Is that it?
I think, yeah.
Oh God.
55, yeah.
Okay.
Confirmed.
1955. It's the man from Pluto from Back to the Future. That's what that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There-
Critters 3 was pretty cool.
Ooh,
I mean, I like that
interesting.
kind of
Hey,
movie.
The Man from Pluto, on because it's August 21st, August 22nd, Venus, Mars, and Pluto were all conjunct like a degree away from the sun in Leo. Actually, and Jupiter was in Leo. Massive stellium in Leo when that happened. Fascinating. But yeah, exact conjunction between Mars, Venus, and Pluto on that day. So
Interesting.
I believe
November 5th, 1955.
No, it was November 21st and 22nd, or no, August 21st and 22nd.
Oh,
What it was saying. Yeah.
Wow, that's close.
wild.
That's close to Robert Anton Wilson Day, but not quite. One day later, it would have been Robert Anton Wilson Day. Yeah.
Wow. He's the man from Pluto who arrived. They were just his heralds. They were carrying him in. They were the Lollipop Guild.
Interesting.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
that's wacky. That's wacky.
did you want to bring up any? Did you want to bring up anything else
You know what I
about
think
Kate
about is
Blanchett?
baby. Oh, sorry,
what?
sorry. Baby Genius. Christopher Lloyd and Baby Genius.
Okay,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
No.
forget. Baby Genius is that movie where like babies are smart until they get older.
Yes. Are the babies related to the whole like half pint hobbit idea? Like the whole gremlin, mogwai. I don't know. I'm stretching here.
Yeah, that feels like a
Baby
stretch. Why don't you
Genius
say
to me
Indian in the
was like-
cupboard while you're at it?
Baby Genius to me was kind of like this Illuminati like spiritual
Gollum.
film where like they're basically like all babies start out as Pleiadian spirits that are traveling to our solar system, right? And then they have a period where they're super smart and the scribbles are actually ancient Sumerian cuneiform. And then by the time they hit toddlership, they start to lose themselves, kind of like John Malkovich. Like if you leaped in the body too young, right? Then you end up unable to control the body or something. But that these babies are all sort of Raelian spirit cult that all humans go through.
This came out in 1999.
Yeah,
never
and Christopher
seen
Lloyd
this?
is sort of like Spock, Dr. Spock.
Bro, you need to see this, David. Just
You
because
haven't
it's
seen this
so,
one?
I think I saw it like in 99, but yeah, okay.
Dr. Spock was like this famous pediatrician who wrote books about baby childcare, right? And people would often, like his name is Spock, right? So
Yeah,
obviously
right.
the connection to Star Trek is Dr. Spock is pretty strong.
Yeah.
And Christopher Lloyd is kind of playing this Dr. Spock like character, and these babies are think innocent, think helpless, think again. And basically these babies are all super telepathic geniuses until they get old, and they have to hide it basically. But they have their own.
Alex Fulton says, "Don't forget the sequel." Is he talking about Baby Geniuses? Is there a Baby Geniuses too?
There is, yeah. I don't remember what the sequel is.
like you're saying baby genius.
Super baby, yeah, super baby. So it's like Ubermensch babies, right? A group of smart talking toddlers find themselves at the center of a media mogul's experiment to crack the code to baby talk.
Oh, that's got to be based on a true
Cracking
story that
code,
we
baby.
haven't been privy to. Oh no! They're wearing
It's like
sunglasses
Look
like
Who's
the
and Look Who's Talking Too, but it's done from a different point of view. Like,
dude. Are those
Look
are
Who's
those?
Talking To is a very Scientologist film, right? Because if you remember, John Travolta's in the film,
Sure.
and what's her name again from Cheers?
Right. So, good question. I always forget her name.
Kathleen Allen, Kathy Allen,
Katie Allen? Is that it?
Katie
No.
Allen.
I think so.
No?
No, is that her name? Really? That's her
think
name?
so.
I don't think that's her name.
Maybe not.
No.
No.
Fact check.
Cheers.
Fact check it.
She had that show for a while that was called Fat Actress, and she's also in a movie that Vivian Kubrick did the soundtrack for called The Amalgam that I've been looking for years that I can't find. But yeah, God, what is her name? It gets confusing because like Bill and I one night were like, what is her name in Cheers? And I can remember Diane Chambers so easy, but I can't remember her name. And even right now I can't remember it. But yeah.
Kirstie Allen.
Kirstie
Alley.
Kirstie Alley. There you go.
It's Rebecca Howe. Rebecca Howe.
Ooh, you looked it up.
Rebecca Howe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, Bill wouldn't let me look it up. We were sitting there for like 15 minutes. He's like, "Come on." I was like, "Yeah, no." I was just like, "Look it up." He's like, "No, we're not going to cheat. What is it? What's the name?" Yeah.
Bro, what a lineup for this woman. Star Trek
Kirstie
2,
Allen, though,
Rathcon,
because
Summer School, Shoot to Kill, Madhouse, Sibling Rivalry, Village of the Damned, 1995. It took.
What are you reading? What is this list? Is this Kirstie Alley
This
movies?
is hers. Yeah. So Look Who's
Okay.
Talking. Look Who's Talking Too. I mean,
Right, but
was
she a heavy duty?
It Takes Two with the Olsen twins.
So she was a Scientologist.
She was a
Along
Scientologist, and she was
along with
also
John
like a
Travolta?
Weight Watchers person. And the film has a lot of like Scientology rules in it. Like they talk about taking, if you're going to take medication to have the baby, and the mother takes this medication so that she is painless, but then the baby's drugged. So the first memories that Bruce Willis is having as he enters the world is feeling, drugged. And that's a major thing that Scientologists are against. There's a whole bunch of metaphors about, the spirit that's coming into the world, and it's Bruce Willis who's
Wasn't
dead people.
Is there a third one? Look Who's Talking Now? Is it Look Who's Talking?
Now
Look Who's Talking 2? Look Who's Talking Now? Look Who's Talking? Jesus
I think it was
Christ.
the dog in the third one, if I recall correctly.
It was, dude. Thank you. And wasn't
Seriously.
it like Hassan Parker, like Piper? What is that guy's name?
Yeah,
The young
Hassan
Turk.
Piker, yeah.
Hassan Parker. Yeah, it was his dog, right? And he kept on zapping it, and then it was just this super traumatic film. And they were like, "I thought this was supposed to be a kids movie." And it was
No,
like,
okay,
"That's
so
good."
my son brought me onto this Hassan Piker thing. I don't know anything about it other than that. He made me
I've
watch
seen
it.
7 different clips of him zapping his dog now
Hey,
at this
but the
point.
craziest
Go
thing
find
about
more.
that, the craziest thing about that is he's zapping the dog because the dog wants to get up.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep the dog on his screen for his live stream because
Right.
the dog has to be there to get more views. So it's it's so much more disturbing.
It's not even just that. There's also just clips of him, like, not even on his show, but just him abusing his dog, like, in general, and like the way he talks to it. And he's like, It's so messed up. But Muslims have cats, man. They don't have dogs. Dogs are dirty. Dogs are dirty I don't think he's necessarily a Muslim. I don't know what his exact trip is completely, but yeah, no, it's pretty.
He used to do like bro videos for how to like game chicks, eh? You guys know about that?
It wouldn't surprise me at all. But
He started out as like super
Planet
steezy.
of Motion, guys. Full communist revolutionary takeover. Every single enemy of the revolution needs to be murdered. Come on. Oh, the streets will run red with the blood of the fascist right wingers. Come on. In Minecraft. And by in Minecraft, actually in real life. You know what we need to do to win the revolution? We need to violate Twitch's terms of service. We need to spend every day violating Twitch's terms of service harder and harder. I love inciting violence against the law. Back to me, chat. So incredibly spoiled. Wait, no, it's not a shock collar. It mostly doesn't electrocute him. What are you guys talking about? It's not a shock collar. It's just a normal collar. It's got a device and it pacifies the dog in Minecraft. You think we're gonna win the revolution without electrocuting any dogs? Twitch ain't doing
so real in so
So
many ways.
this validates Sam Hyde then. Do you guys Did you
I'm not.
guys?
I don't know
I mean,
what you're
Sam
talking about.
Hyde's always been valid, but yeah, go on.
But what
do
do you
you
got?
mean?
He won this boxing match. It's the funniest. It's amazing. So because he's very serious about boxing.
With a shock collar? What happened? What do you think?
No, he wins this boxing match, like a celebrity boxing match. Okay. And at the end of it, they interview him and he starts going, Hassan Piker, you're next. I'm going to kill you. And they say, oh, like in the ring? And he's like, no, I'm coming to your house.
Oh, not in Minecraft.
No.
In Minecraft.
I love that.
I mean,
I'm
I feel
sorry.
like Hassan Piker's like probably the worst person on the internet. I could be wrong. I mean, like
he's one of them. There's a lot of really bad people, but
yeah,
he's
it's pretty bad, man.
I mean,
like,
it's the internet.
but it does seem like a thing, right? To like hurt animals or to force people to be like to force an animal, and then to have these like political opinions you want to force that way. It seems like a connected concept.
Well, what the kicker was is that, it's been happening for a while that he's been zapping his dog, but there was no hiding. That one was so obvious, you can see him reach out his arm and see it like, and then the dog's good, and he's like starts reacting to him like the dog's doing something terribly wrong. Like, what are you doing? Why are you like, and it's like, dude, the dog just got up for a second. You're doing a 6-hour podcast. The dog gets up for a second, goes, and goes back to its spot. Like, dude, what did you just push? What did you just do? But it's like what he said right before he does it. It was just like, dude, he's like the nature of what he's talking about violence, and then he's like reacting against this thing, and then he's doing this thing. It's just like, oh, it's so ironic. It's like that woman who was like doing that comedy bit where she's on the stage and she's just ripping about how she fucking has taken all the vaccines. She's like, I got my flu shot, I got this shot, I got that shot, and then she just straight passes out. And it's like, I'm sure everyone here has seen it, but like, I thought that had to have been staged. Like, I mean, I know it's on a stage, but like, that's got to be a bit, right? That's not a bit. That really happened. The irony is so intense, dude. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, like the control thing. If you can't have any control over people to like have control over a dog or an animal, like it seems like that's a major thing for that kind of person in every way, like to show that you have power over another being. I don't know. I saw this like girl, like a dog trainer who was talking about it, and it it was interesting because like if you're a dog and you have to pee or anything like that, and to imagine like any person to be stuck in a room while this other person's sitting there with their back to you talking all day. I know it's like people are like, oh, it's a dog. What does that mean, right? Because it's like the dehumanization thing starts with wherever you can start it. If you can't start with dehumanizing the other political opponent, you literally start with something that's not human. So you take away any of your own humanity, you're dehumanizing yourself in your treatment of another being. And so this person's showing, hey, if I can treat a dog like that, and I've noticed the left doing this for a long time. I'm not saying it's only the left, but people are often talking about, eugenics, and they neuter their dogs, they spay their cats. There's all this like idea of pet, like impounding, the pound, and what do they call that? Where like they come and pick up stray dogs, those vehicles that like trucks that pick up dogs and take them away. Like they just arrest them, and they just round up any wild animals, wild dogs that don't have masters. And that's, to me, I mean, it's very similar to the way Jim Crow laws worked, obviously. I mean, granted, I concede, I'm not saying like a dog is the same as a person, but they are kind of.
There's a Jungian aspect to it that we externalize what we repress. So you're going to act out. And it's also sublimating. So what you can't do to a person or get away with doing to a person, somebody will do it to an animal. It's why serial killers usually start out abusing animals, right?
Yeah.
If you can do it to an animal, then you've already modeled how you can do it to a person. So if you can show, like, if a woman thinks it's totally okay to neuter a dog because they think it's good for society, because otherwise that dog
is good for society, though.
You're already starting the eugenics. You're already starting the depopulation of humans metaphor. It's something that can very easily be taken as a practice that can be extended to humans.
You
'Cause
guys
it's
remember The Price
really up
is
to you.
Right, right? Like that was like the whole thing at the end of The Price is Right was
Yeah, he was
always this
very into spaying
ha-
cats.
have your
That's
pet
big
spayed or
neutered.
neutered. Was
Oh, is that why somebody brought up Bob Barker in the comments? I saw Bob Barker's name, but I thought it was in reference to a dog because the dog barks. It was like in the corner of my eye. Is that
Interesting.
what you're
Hey, yeah,
referencing?
didn't Bob Barker have a ton of
Bob
harassment
Barker?
against
No,
him?
that's dope.
Didn't he?
That's dope.
How are pets slaves? Pets are companions. I mean,
Sorry, no, I didn't
But
mean
if they
it
but if
really
they run away
depends.
from it, you won't
I
let them
think
out
you
your
need to
house
know like
free?
different kinds of pets. Like first off, a lot of people expect cats to catch mice for them. A lot of people originally expected dogs to grab birds for them, right?
Or if you get a rat terrier, it's supposed to take care of the rats.
If
You know,
the game fetch
idea.
is not without its precedent. So sure, people have kind of with the SPCA and the way that people talk about it, adopting a pet, and they've maybe moved it more and more into trying to justify it to make yourself feel like more ethical. But no, you're just taking responsibility for a person, like a legal person in society. If that dog harms somebody, you're like a parent that is responsible for that dog.
Yeah, but
And
you
if
got to
you go like,
realize
I mean, I
too.
was in
I'm sorry.
Istanbul.
Yeah. There's the other side of
Go
it
ahead.
too, that you can in many ways, like there's the joke that like if aliens came here and they saw the way we are with cats, they'd be like, who's actually in charge here? We're the ones cleaning up after them. They're like,
Well,
it looks like maybe we're the pet.
Scientology used the same thing against dogs. Like in Battlefield Earth, the whole thing was they thought that the dogs were in control because we picked up all of their poop.
Mm.
You get what I'm
That's
saying?
what's happening with now look who's talking, right? You're saying there's this
Yes.
Scientology edge to look who's talking
Yes.
to. Of course,
Yes.
that's why it's
Who's
a
in
dog in the
control?
third one. It's because of Battlefield Earth.
It's
How
the
did I
little
miss this?
people. The little people are in control, right? Whether it be a baby, be a dog, be a gremlin in Kentucky or some dumb shit like that. Like it's a gremlin, right? Like the least effective member of society is the most powerful.
Right. Well, Hassan Parker was just, did I say that right? Is that his name?
Piker.
Hassan Piker, excuse me. That he was just saying,
Yeah,
I don't know if it was
say it
before the incident or after the incident, but I saw footage the other day of him being like, just talking about kind of what Andreas was saying about like, he called them shackles. So he's like, so you put these shackles on the animal. He's talking about how horrible the whole thing is.
Right.
And you look at like, this is Twitter. So I'm seeing this is the post to somebody sharing this video. And you look at what the comments are, and it's just a million pet owners just like, hey, here's me, like they love their animals and they're showing their relationship with their animals. They're like, I think it's horrible that this is how you relate to it. And I think it's interesting because it's kind of like, it's like a litmus test, right? Here's your animal. How are you relating to the fact that you might put a collar on your animal? You take the collar off, you let it run.
Right.
I mean, there's a practical side to it, that you're protecting it, that you don't want it to run into traffic and get hurt or something, like, or to have, it can bite somebody. So you want to make sure that doesn't happen. So you don't have to, have them go to get the big sleep in Ren and Stimpy, you just want them to be okay, like, I don't know. There's like, it could go either way, right? It's always,
the gray area is that dogs are pack animals, and there's no way they're going to be the alpha animal in that relationship. So you have to be the alpha. Now, where it gets kind of unnatural is when you live in a city, you can't just let your dog run free. If you live out in the bush and you let your dog have some free reign, which is what would be natural in a pack, right? Like you're going to have, especially a young, like adolescent dog is going to explore a bit on the outside, always in contact with the pack. That's what they're supposed to be doing. So you're kind of violating their own instincts in a way. And that's where it becomes more, because dogs are always going to choose to be with you.
Well, you can see the neuroses in a lot of dogs, especially the dogs that don't get time to run around. Like I have a big property. I raise Rottweilers, golden retrievers, and even like I mentioned a rat terrier. I had like a little terrier for years, totally worlds apart. But you have a property, and the dog can exist outside and have some and be able to go out into the world to some degree. Like that's important, man. Like, but like you can see like the weird dogs that just, they never let them go outside, and they just start to have like breathing problems, and they just like look so neurotic. Like, but I think people are going neurotic, and I think that's kind of,
I think saying that it's a mutualistic relationship is kind of naive. Like there are circumstances, I totally agree, we're symbiotic, but if you've ever been to like a pet store where they're training dogs, the way they train dogs with rewards the same. I mean, I know what it sounds like to say this, but it is the way that they trained slaves in the 1800s. It's the same thing. It is, and it's not that I'm not saying that that's like
what is the dog gonna?
equivalent.
What is the dog doing for you? It's gonna pick cotton for you. What's it gonna do for you? Other
I
than
mean, like
love,
whatever you
love
train the dog to do, right? Because dogs will do like they can be sheep herding dogs. They can be. I mean,
They
it's like an
hurt the
owl
sheep?
or a dog. Any way you train an animal, you punish them, withhold behavior from them, reward behavior from them. So if somehow they do something you want them to do, like you sit, you stay, you go, you fetch, you lead, you whatever, there's a reward for that. And this is the same thing with whales. I mean, when they give you a fish to jump up and do these tricks, right? These are maybe games. And we're gonna like I know that the whale trainers at like SeaWorld will tell you, oh, you know, these whales really like these games because otherwise they'd be in a prison cage all day doing nothing. So here's something where they get to
Right. Well, you know, when
for-
it's the fitness, when don't you have habits? And are habits even avoidable? Like, isn't that why you want to have healthy habits rather than unhealthy habits? Because one way or the other,
I
you're gonna
agree
have
with you,
habits.
Silo. Like you can treat a dog like a slave if you want, or you can be loving. So like you can treat a human like a slave if you want, or you can be loving. You can treat a servant like a
You can
slave
treat
if you want. And be
yourself
loving.
like you want, and you know.
I'm not. I don't know. Like I'm not like actually. I'm not like a big animal rights person or something. I'm not
No,
like
but
a
what you
huge.
do is the same thing I do. If somebody says anything, and generally speaking, you're going to offer the other side of the argument. Like, just you have the ability to entertain. Like, you know, you play devil's advocate sometimes. I don't think that's necessarily what you're doing here, but you're going to give an argument for the other side. You know, the other side of the thing, because we start talking about Hassan Piker and like how effed up this is, and you're like, well, let's analyze objectively. What are we doing with dogs? You know, like, because it is true. Like, we keep a dog in a space, we put a collar on it when we take a leash on it when it goes out. Generally, you know, like,
and spaying and neutering is pretty. It's hard to like really be like, oh, I just want what's best for it. I just took away its main impulse in life, its main desire in life.
Right. But what you're
Love
speaking
each other.
to, Andreas, is like toxic innocence. How everybody, generally speaking, they're always like what we're talking about earlier too, that we're always the good guys, right? Like,
it's super messed up how we control pets' reproductive rights. I would err on saying I agree with that. I honestly, I know it seems
like if you live in a country that has a problem with like wild dogs, your opinion might change.
I loved it. I
talked to a
love
guy
living
who,
with
like,
wild dogs. Let me explain. That was like something I want to talk about. So I went to. Am I a Libra? No, I'm not a Libra. Like not by a long shot. But yeah, so I was in Argentina and I remember seeing this. While there were no pounds, there were no rounding up of dogs like the Holocaust. Like they weren't just like arresting dogs on the streets for being Jewish. Like it was just free dogs, and I liked that because dogs were smart. Because when you first see it, you think, oh my God, there's these wild dogs, these poor dogs. Who's going to take care of them? Because you're trained to think that way in America. You always think, I almost want to make a documentary about this.
A documentary.
Yeah, a documentary. Oh, that's the title. Trademark. We're dead. Because a normal person thinks, wow, this dog, it needs to be taken care of. I need to lock it in my apartment all day so that when I get home, it knows nothing of the world. It's Stockholm syndromed, and it's thinking when I leave, like, will a human, my master, ever come back? And then when the human comes back, the sun has shined again for the first. Like, they love you, but they're all day like miserable, and they're shouting and barking. Have you ever been in a suburban, or an urban sprawl where all these dogs are in apartments in these prison situations? It's terrible, and they don't know anything. They're all fools, right? If a dog like that gets out into the street, you have to worry because they don't know how to live in the world. Cut to Argentina, where dogs are wild. They feed themselves. They walk to I was in Buenos Aires. I'd see them walking around. They see a street light, and they stop at the street light. Keep in mind, I think dogs are colorblind. Am I right? So they know the top light from the bottom light, and they know when the top light shines that they're not supposed to walk, and when the bottom light shines that they're supposed to walk. And they go wherever. They know everywhere. I mean, people would get drunk in the middle of the night, a dog would walk you home. You'd be so grateful that this dog finds you. And then, maybe you help this dog out, but people
You're
are
like
often
acting like wild dogs or Saint Bernards or something.
no, that's the thing. They are.
They
They're like
have a little
that's
picture
exactly
of
my point.
Brandy
Without
on the
any
neck.
sort of like humans trying to train these dogs, dogs are intelligent enough in this urban sprawl to know where things are, to know how to live in this world, to help people, to find people to help, and then say, you know what, you
We
do
get
your
stuck
thing
in the
tonight.
well
I got
too.
a place to go, but
You know
I
what
know
they're
where you live now.
associated-
I'll come back
dog-
and I'll find you in a couple days maybe. And then they
Dogs-
meet you like,
dogs are
oh, it's Steve.
associated
I
to
haven't seen you
Hermes.
since Thursday. How are you? And the dog walks with you and helps you. I mean, like dogs will protect
No,
people.
but
and
Because
make
Andreas
relationships
doesn't
with
know
you.
how to use the street lights, so he needed the wild dog.
you're
The wild dogs
Oh.
know things that a civilized dog, and this is another thing, is that more civilized, your brain gets smaller, right? And we've done this to humans too. Humans have civilized themselves into smaller brains. We're actually devolving because of our lack of living and trying to figure out how to live. We've gotten to a point where we have this repetitious lifestyle that's simpler, and it's making us less intelligent. We see this for the last few generations, particularly.
Part of that is because we all can recognize patterns and we want to align with patterns, but our natural world has a weekly pattern and that's it. Like it doesn't really have a yearly pattern that much. So because nature has patterns within patterns, there's a daily pattern, then there's a yearly pattern, there's a monthly pattern, and then there's larger cycles too, right? And that's what we're supposed to align with. We're supposed to know what the migratory patterns of the animals around us are. We're supposed to know when a certain thing is going to blossom, and that's a massive amount of information to keep in your mind. And instead,
Right.
we're trapped in boxes almost.
Domesticated humans, exactly right, memory man. And then dogs are routinely over vaccinated and suffer from neurosis, similar to humans, anxiety, sensory issues. Not only that, there's also like weird things in dog treats, which are like antifreeze is like a major ingredient in a lot of like dog treats. There's all sorts of things that like damage the nerve system and actually make dogs like less intelligent on purpose. I saw another one. Nehadar says, I remember seeing a pack of wild dogs running on the beach of Puerto Rico. They looked happy and free. Absolutely. I see this all over the world. And I was going to bring this up because I was in Istanbul and there are cats everywhere. Like
Everywhere.
It's filled with cats everywhere.
Well, South America is just all cats.
It's like Japan too, but like in Istanbul, apparently this goes back, like Muslims, like you were saying, not fans of dogs, but they love cats. And turkeys are pretty cool, by the way. Like I noticed this. I want to bring this up later that there's probably more women in hijabs and headscarves in Germany, in Berlin, than there are in Turkey. I think actually that's what's going on. Is they're exporting all of the crazies. So like there's not. I mean, if you go to Turkey, it's just nice. It's pretty stable, and they don't put up with any bullocks. They don't have any nonsense. No nonsense. Any nonsense. The West welcomes nonsense, so they just send it out. But then, therefore, Turkey's like
West kind of craves nonsense. The West.
No, I mean the West encourages and invites all of the worst. Like they don't care what religion you are in Turkey. If you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, whatever. If you're a terrorist, they're gonna either kill you or arrest you, right? Like so. That kind of thing doesn't exist. They just get rid of pornography, like OnlyFans and stuff like that. Doesn't like they will pull you up by your ears and arrest you. I've seen like videos of people being carried off because they caught somebody doing, things like that. So basically their entire society is super stable, super clean. It looks super modern. Everything is really nice. I realized also Mexican food is just a poor rendition of Turkish food. Like obviously I didn't get that before, but like it's Spanish people failing to make Turkish food. That's basically what I found. And then their soap operas are better too. So everything about Turkey is great. But the main thing is nobody owns the cats. And they're everywhere you go. Their cats are living their lives. People will give them a little bit of food. But like it's been going on, I guess, since the 6th century. Like I guess Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to have kittens in his sleeves, and they had to cut off his sleeves so that when he was falling asleep, that the cat had somewhere to sleep. And so they love cats, and they think of it as like a testament. There's like a documentary on it. I haven't seen it yet.
That's fascinating because Muslim is considered a religion ruled by Venus in a lot of different traditions. And so cats are
Interesting.
extremely Venusian creatures. You know, they're
Who's that? You guys probably know Keith Kaczynski. What is his name? You know what I'm
Ted
talking about?
Kaczynski, the Unabomber? What?
No,
No, you're
Keith.
talking about the
Keith
Synchead.
Zavinsky. Yeah, the Synchead, Keith. We had him on the
Oh.
show once a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
I know who you're talking about. Go
but
ahead.
he made an argument like I don't know if it was like during the 2 weeks to blah blah blah, but like during that time, shortly after that time, I think he was talking about his cat as an allegory, and I think it was spot on. I
Right.
think it was true
Okay.
equivalence, where he was saying that he was keeping his cat in the house for a long time. And he would see the cat at the window when you see a bird and he'd get all excited or whatever. And he's like, at a certain point, he's like, was worried. He was like, I know that if you let a cat roam free, that it has less of a life expectancy. This thing, it's vulnerable. Things can happen to it. But he was like, he could see how badly the cat wanted to go outside. So
Quality over quantity.
So eventually just let the cat out. And he said over time he could see like the cat's like pelt, the way that its fur was getting softer, and it was just more energy and more like just stoked. And he was just like, wow, I made the right decision. And he said that was kind of like what changed his mind, for like, because he had, for a second he was like, okay, well, we want to do the right thing and we want to protect people, whatever, he was entertaining what people were saying at that time. And he was like, no, man, he was like, yes, there's risks, but at the same time, like, not just for yourself, but even if we were to say there's risks for other people, whatever it is, he was like, what do you want? Do you want the cat to be in this neurotic place,
right?
Or to just like how healthy it is to like let it live its freaking life despite the risk, And it was like, that's the difference in mindset when we're like, people are like, no, it's so bad, anything could happen. It's like, dude, like,
right.
yeah.
I mean, this is what trains you. If you think it's okay, if you're helping an animal by castrating it and locking it inside under house arrest for its whole life, then you think that that's something you should do for your children. I think that's the plan, and they're trying to get. And I've seen this all my life with the way people think they're helping by population control. That's modeled for them in a logical, practical example way.
Animals everywhere. It's not necessarily like it's the same thing as like, say you picked up an alligator from the wild, right? And then it was young, its parents had died, you learn to feed it, and then you throw it back out in the wild. It's not the same damn animal.
No, but that's different, because I mean, with cats, if you just leave some chicken out every once in a while for the cat, but you let the cat kill mice and live outside and do its thing, that cat, I mean, sure, a cat could live longer, but that doesn't mean it has more life. You know what I mean? Like a cat living outside might live shorter and get way more life out of it than this furball with a broken spirit that is inside of your house, right? Like this is like your man.
I think that this is related. Like go to the private chat and hit the like link that I sent you about Hermes Trismegistus.
Well, okay. While you're hitting that, I also want to bring up like what you're saying. Yeah, we'll do this first.
No, I mean, hey, you know what? No.
Hermes had the thing with dogs, not cats, but go on.
Okay, what you're talking about now, people really hate me, but like, look how quickly people are to, and it's painful. Like people don't want to do it, but like euthanizing their pets, right? They make the decision that, oh, it's the quality of life is gone, we got to take it out. But that animal still has a will to live. Like if the animal still has a will to live, well, does that not lead us into where people are in a coma or something? Or anyways, what are you doing?
Right. It should be like Dr. Kevorkian, where you make the cat like push its own button.
Press the button. Informed consent.
Wait, we're stepping into the whole Nazi idea, because the Nazis just, they didn't like pick on Jews. They picked on mentally handicapped and individuals who were physically like
little people too.
Yeah, that's the point Andreas has been making the whole time. That's
exactly why we're talking about this.
If we decide what value a person or a being, let's say a being, like a being has based on what they do for me and what they've done for me lately, then we are, I mean, I'm not, what is that what we're doing? Are we deciding the value of a being is more valuable because it does more for society? because that does seem pretty
There's
collectivist.
an argument that
to
the
a
reason why
fascist
babies
level.
are so cute is a protective
Yeah.
evolutionary thing that we want to care for it because it's
We
cute. They're
want
not
to
all
help
cute.
it.
They're not
Like,
all cute. Not all dogs are cute either. Not all cats are cute. But it is part of it's
No,
like,
some of
you
them are
know,
fucking
the
assholes.
Babies
Like,
are
Right, but-
weird, man. They're just like naked. I mean, imagine like a full-grown person acting like a baby. It's this naked, screaming person.
I've seen it.
that
I've seen it
shits all over
happen
your
on the
life.
Senate floor. I know all about. I've
bro,
seen it.
Mork and Mindy, bro. Mork and Mindy. Like, there's a whole mythology or lore, according to Mork and Mindy, that they evolved.
With Jonathan Winters as the
backwards.
baby.
Jonathan Winters is Robin Williams' dad. But
No, well,
he's
yeah,
a
it's like
baby.
okay, so it's either like okay, so the alien when Mork when he gets pregnant and he has an egg, and they're taking care of the baby, it is definitely a metaphor for an older couple that didn't have the baby, or like an American couple that's taking care of the dementia father.
Or like,
It's
I
a
mean,
father
it
with
could be.
dementia.
It's like a weird thing where we don't experience it as much now. Maybe we will in the future. But when we were kids, our parents took care of their parents in this weird way.
Right,
Like,
and
all of a
the
sudden,
parents are
like,
forgetting things,
Right.
so they're acting like babies. So that's Jonathan Winters, and it's kind of interesting they made a comedy out of this idea, but they don't have a cute little baby. They have an old man at the
Right.
house that they have to take
Right.
care of. It's
Right.
a dementia father that is
Yeah.
their baby.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah,
isn't that the story of the riddle of the Sphinx from Oedipus of what
Exactly.
walks on 4 legs and then walks on 2 legs and then walks on 3 legs?
Exactly. Exactly. And you can also see it in like Buddhist books. I remember going to like this it was like a Beastie Boys concert, and there was all these monks out in the fucking parking lot who were passing out these books. And you could see in one of the books that it had like this whole like evolutionary chain, but it was like an individual starts out crawling, and then they're walking, and then they're like going back to the cane, and then they're back into the grave. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah, totally. It's a Doors album cover post mortem. What was that called? I think it's called Full Circle, actually. I played it with Full Circle. It doesn't
Circle
really do it. It's
post
not. That's not worth
Jim.
it.
That's
Yeah.
what you mean. Full Circle is a Doors album that was made after Jim Morrison died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's with after other voices or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think there was two. There was two that were made. Full Circle's like album cover is basically what you're
It's
what you're saying.
what we're talking
It's-
about exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What were you gonna say about Hermes Trismegistus?
Oh, Hermes Trismegistus is associated to the dog. Like, there's a couple of
Right.
different images that Hermes is like associated to.
If you can
And
zoom
one of
in
them-
there to the right on that image, and this is a Paul Foster Case image, or no?
This is
really.
from Manly P. Hall. I'm not sure who the artist is.
Oh
I
yeah,
wish I had
Manly P.
looked at-
Hall. Yeah.
But it like the Manly P. Hall wrote this thing that was called Secret Teachings of All Ages. And each chapter has this immaculate painted plate that basically like highlights the chapter.
Right.
This is the one about Hermes.
So he's holding the
but it's
emerald tablet
used a
there, and you
lot-
see the
it's u-
ibis.
Yeah. The ibis and the dog are both used heavily with synchromysticism, because there's a lot of like of the symbolism of Hermes is used over and over again. And certain,
Which, by the way, Xirtus scouts, we're gonna have ibis instead of eagle scouts, and then like the Weeblos are gonna be like pups, basically. I think we should just go with straight up Hermes scouts. That'll be like the basic replacement for Boy Scouts.
You're gonna have a dragon you have to conquer in your mythology.
Yeah, which
I mean,
it'll be
there's a
like
lot of
250
dragons, too.
hours of community service.
and then
Hey,
you have the DNA helix of the caduceus. I mean, there's a lot
So
going on.
he's the father of Pan. But my question, I don't
Is it
remember.
me? Is this literally a picture of me?
Yeah,
It
looks
is?
just like you. Look at him. It's true.
Except you stole Thomas's beard, but other than that,
Dude, that's real. That is freaking Andreas right there for reals. Hey, what is the deal with Hermes and the dog? That he explained? What does Manly P. Hall have to say about the connection of Hermes and the dog? What is it specifically?
It's man's best friend. So, okay, Hermes basically
Because we were
is-
trained by wolves. We were raised by wolves at first, which is why we're even.
that's Romans. So if you look at the way that the Roman populace was founded, it was on
Romulus and
two
Remus.
Yes, the two twins who were raised by wolves were raised by dogs, but dogs give us it's Hermes actually oversees the tarot card for the Fool, and if you see in the Fool card, there's a dog that's trying to pull him back from danger. But Hermes also is attributed to writing all language, like he
Oh
writes
shit,
all books.
dude! I never.
He's the five senses. Hermes are the senses of man, and the senses of man are man's best friend. You get what
Right.
I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It never occurred to me after all these years of looking at tarot that if you look in the rider deck at that dog that's like holding, like he's about to walk off a cliff, and there's the white dog, and I think, serious. I've had a lot of different thoughts, but it really makes sense that what comes next is the magician. And if you correspond the magician to Mercury, that's Hermes. It's almost as if you have an embodiment of Hermes the magician interacting with the Fool from keeping him from running off the cliff, basically, or
Right.
something along
So
those
it's
lines.
like intuition. The
Or
dog
he's like
kind of
letting him know because he is
symbolizes like your connection to the gods, because Hermes is like a messenger, right? He
the cliff. By the way, him falling off that cliff. Just to be clear, in the hero's journey, he's oblivious of the journey that he's about to go on. Right? Like
Right.
It's not just that he's going to fall to his death, as one might assume. It's that, oh boy, now he's in for it. He has to go. He's Pee-wee at the beginning of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, having a dream where he's oblivious to what's coming.
It's also about the potentials of youth, right? It's about the potentials of being young and having that energy and that optimism to step off the cliff, or
Well,
to be
the life breath, the olive,
Boy and his dog.
the Adam, it comes to life through the olive, right? So the correspondence to olive. We can thank Eliphas Levi for that attribution. But like, this idea of like our embodiment, everything relies upon this breathing apparatus, but what's coming through, it's the spirit. It's like even the etymology of spirit, even it's the breath. So he's like, directing. This is everything. Nothing else could play out in the Arcana, the story of the Arcana, without this element. So it's like it's showing you it's the air, And so I don't know.
It's the air that you breathe.
Yeah, but that's the thing is if you don't step off the cliff, nothing happens. If you're trapped in a house with a shock collar around your neck, nothing happens. You have to take it out the door.
Full
But
circle.
you share, like there's this archetype of something that shares the journey with you.
Yep.
Whether it be like Mad Max or the Jim Carrey does it over and over, whether it be the number 23, there's an actual dog that's like the guardian of the underworld, or he has the dog Van and Dumb.
Well,
and
he
Dumber.
is a dog catcher in that movie. That's his job, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean that all goes down to like the idea of Cerberus, right? The god of the underworld. Underworld is like this 3-headed dog.
Right. Remember what Alice Bailey has to say about Cerberus? What the meaning of that is?
Go ahead.
So like she argues that I think this actually has a basis. I don't think this is something she made up, that each head has symbolism. So that's the guardian of hell, of Hades, right? So one head is desire, one head is sensation, and the third head is good intentions. And she argued that where we get the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, has to do with that head of Sirius, because the other two, at least if you're coming from a religious place, you could make sense of it. It's easier to make sense of. You're like, oh, well, desire, desire is suffering in Buddhism, whatever. You can see like, desire is the creator, desire is the destroyer. And then sensation, you're like, oh, well, your senses, like, can you extract yourself into the spirit that the senses are emerging out of, or like just be locked into what I was saying about the story of the pearl? Are you that prince that's just forgotten your identity and now you're just, like, what am I doing again? But like the good intentions, it's like, dude, everyone does, it's toxic innocence. Everyone's always coming from the best possible place when they're doing the worst atrocities. They're like, but we're the good guys, right? We can't be the baddies, like, yeah, crazy.
Toxic innocence.
I was thinking about really quickly Harry Potter, right? Because if you read the first Harry Potter, The major point, I mean, obviously, who knew, except for maybe like the Signal Corps and MI6, that there's going to be 7 books. The first Harry Potter's about the Philosopher's Stone being hidden underneath Cerebus, right? So you've got this
Right.
Philosopher's Stone that's in a mirror. You see what you saw, and you take the saw to cut your way out, kind of thing.
Right,
But the
right.
only way to get, because the mirror shows you what you want to see, but it's trapped in there, so only someone who doesn't want to use the Philosopher's Stone can have access to the Philosopher's Stone, which
Right.
relates to the intentions. Incidentally, Cerebus is guarding the door, which is like underneath. It sleeps. Cerebus sleeps on top of, and also Cerebus is called Fluffy by Hagrid.
Right. Yeah, totally.
But that
Sorry. Were you done?
Oh, I thought you said something. What did you say?
Oh, I thought you were done with Cerebus because I wanted to. Go
Yeah,
back
basically. I was just gonna say, like, the idea of the alchemist, philosopher's stone, immortality, Hades, death, that whole thing, is important to it. But yeah, I forget my point anyway. So what were you gonna say?
Can you show the full card again? Because I don't think the dog is trying to warn him of the cliff.
Maybe not. Maybe
I
not.
think
I was
the
just
dog
remembering.
Is he chasing him?
No, the dog is joyously replicating what the master.
He's just going along for the ride.
Distracting him?
He's probably just going along for the ride.
It's a distraction.
Why don't? Okay.
I'm just visualizing. I was saying that while I'm visualizing the salt container with the girl getting, her underwear pulled by the dog, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I've seen that. That's in. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Because the dog to me is young, right? Or is it a terrier? That's why I wanted to see it again.
Lord loves a terrier.
Oh, because terriers are just always.
That was the symbolism in Best in Show with the 2 left feet. He was the fool.
Yeah, it's all
his
Best
character
in
is the fool. I'm actually not
Show.
even
It's
joking
all
right now.
like Jim Carrey movies, The Pet Detective. There's I think that there was a Christmas movie with him involving that, right? Like the dog.
Well,
was
yeah, the Grinch.
Grinch. But also Liar Liar, isn't the dog like the main
Yeah.
fucking thing? Like there's this reoccurring idea that a man is better with a dog.
Right, but he is the Green Man. He's the Riddler. He's the Grinch. He's the Mask. He's the Green Man. It comes up again and again, which is the magician. But then he's also playing the fool. It's the relationship of
Hermes.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that the fool is Zero, right? And then he's the breath of the magician, right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I want to take that image and just put her on the cliff instead of the.
Yeah. All right, we'll have to do that. It's the only way that this image is allowed anymore. I don't know how this is very problematic in a post-Epstein world.
Yeah, true.
Oh man, I'm having a Mandela effect. Wasn't that dog on a cliff in the original salt container?
So look, even if you look at it, the cliff comes out further where his foot is, whereas it goes in where the dog is. So they're both about to step off.
Right? You're right. You're right. I stand reflected.
But I mean, yeah, and also, yeah. Anyways, that's just my point. Is that it seems like the dog is, whatever.
The dog is smiling for sure. And I mean, there's a couple of different versions of this where it's not a cliff, it's an alligator. And that goes back to the whole Hermes idea of him stepping on the dragon. You get what I mean?
It's explained in Crowley's book, the Book of Thoth. He explains what the significance of the alligator was in terms of Egyptian
in the Crowley
mysticism.
deck, it's a bobcat. It's like
there's an alligator in the full.
Sure, there's an alligator in there, but the actual animal that's like.
And he's the Green Man in the Thoth deck.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
They're fucking totally related.
Yeah, so go to the bottom.
I think even the bird,
Yeah,
the bird might be. Yeah, you can see it's a cat like biting him on his leg.
Mm-hmm. Is it a cat? I thought it was I remember it being a tiger. Look at it.
Yeah, cat, tiger, whatever. It's Garfield, is what it is.
It's freaking Garfield. Oh no, that's Heathcliff, dog. That's Garfield's cousin, Heathcliff.
So you see the sun on the crotch. Go up, scroll up a little bit. I think there might be a bird involved. Is that? Oh no, that's like
it's a caduceus and a butterfly.
There is definitely like an implied caduceus.
There's a dove.
Oh,
right
there's a dove right
Look
there.
at that
That's
big
the OTO
wing right there. Is that an ibis? It is an ibis. Look, you can see the beak. Go down, scroll down. That's like a beak.
Yeah, I see it.
It's an ibis.
It could be a.
it
It could be a
totally
duck.
hurts.
It could be a duck,
And
dog.
there's the caduceus right there that's going
Right.
towards the heart.
Well, if we look at the commentary on this card, he goes over
Holy
all the
shit,
elements.
it even has the heart shape. It even has a caduceus going into the heart shape. Dude, that's dope. That's deep.
The chapter on the Fool in the Book of Thoth from Crowley is like the most important, in my opinion, the most important chapter in the book. It might be the most important thing that Crowley's ever written, is that particular chapter in that particular book. And,
The dog and the fool are both able to fly or take the ladder or Milky Way bridge, says Giant.
Yeah.
By the way,
Dude.
Giant, we should be doing a show this week. Let's talk after this and make the plan, because I know that's our plan to do a show this
Where
week. So
has Giant been? Jeez.
Giant works like Giant
Yeah.
hustles
Grass
hard
Valley.
in a world of
Is it
they
Grass
say
Valley?
like some people have no luck. Giant has a lot of good and bad luck.
Yeah, he's not
basically
small on luck. Giant
Is he-
is not small on
I
luck.
thought he drove for a living. Doesn't he lives in Grass Valley? Is that
yeah, he's
Am I-
right in I think he still is. Yeah, he's in California.
He like drove
I know
such
he
a
was,
long
like,
way to get
he
here.
ran a business, and he was talking about on the last show. He had a really terrible business partner that he had to like basically take responsibility for all of this other guy's actions. But that it only meant that more people respected what he's up to and what he's doing, and know that they can trust him. So he's killing it. I told you that it was Mercury. Yeah. See, I mean. So yeah, we'll like Giant. Let's get you back on SyncTank and also do a show. Let's just do a Giant special this week, because we wanted to talk about what was it that you wanted to bring up again? We were talking about Charlie Kirk. You had some interesting things about the 47th problem of Euclid and some math and things as well.
Oh, he did? He brought that
Yeah.
up? Oh,
Yeah.
really? Interesting,
Some
yeah.
symbolism. He sent me some stuff talking about the 47th problem of Euclid, the right-hand triangle, historical context, Euclid documented proof of the elements. I forget, but yeah, he sent me some stuff talking about his thought on the perspective of Charlie Kirk and Enoch tied into John Dee. So I thought that would be probably worth doing a thing.
Cool.
But yeah, sorry. So, just in terms of the Thoth deck, it's interesting because it's maybe like a different idea of what the Fool is, because the Fool is actually maybe the creative
There's the crocodile.
force. Yeah, the crocodile's right there. But like the Fool is the creative force that is, because I think this is also back to what we were talking about Larry David or Woody Allen making every character himself. Because someone asked me the other day, they asked me like a week ago, someone said, do you think of yourself as this character on this show or that character on this show? And I told them, like, I don't think of myself ever as a character. I am the show. If I like a show,
you're like Salvador Dali, like I am the drug.
Well, it's like a dream, right? Like if
it's
you have
quantum
a dream,
psychology. So if I like a show, it's because I see that show as a representation of myself. Not that I am like a drama, not that a character is a romanticized version of me on a show. Like, I hate that kind of thing where someone thinks, well, if I were in The Office, a mundane, nightmarish reality like The Office, I could be this romanticized Steve Quinn, whatever character that is the best version of a loser. I know that's not the way to live your life.
That show's purgatory, by the way, dog.
Yeah, don't ever let that happen to you. But if you feel like you are, the show, then you understand, like, this is exactly what's really going on. There's a part of you which is the sexually handsome,
Morpheus,
confident person, and then there's the questioning, insecure friend of that person, and then there's the woman, which is the receptivity, and then there's your own struggle with reality, which are your problems. That is the villain, and these are all these are all parts of your psyche, and so you should look at the show as a representation of yourself, right? And I think that that's maybe the point of the tarot deck, that you shouldn't be thinking of it like, oh well, I'm the Fool and I'm becoming the magician, right? Like the tarot deck is representing all of the parts of you,
all of it,
right?
You are the tarot deck.
You are the show. You are the tarot deck.
You are the show. You are the movie. This movie's
meant-
about you.
Yeah. Well, but it's meant to be progression through life, right? That's how it's actually laid out through the major arcana.
Yeah, but
and
I'm
you can
saying
look
I don't
at
know
it
if you
through-
should do it that way. I don't think you should chronologically look at something. I think it's better to use quantum psychology and to
Yeah.
say that all of these things are happening.
That's why you're shuffling it.
Exactly.
That's the, that's the
It's a
truffle
shuffle.
shuffle.
It's
That's
a
where-
shuffle.
Yeah.
It's
You
a
know, it's so
tarot
weird.
shuffle.
It's so weird because I haven't touched my tarot deck in months and months, and I only just started learning tarot this year. By the way, I only really started studying. Yeah, whatever. It wasn't part of my life. Go figure. But this year I was like, I'm 2025. I'm learning tarot, and I just pulled a card for this episode tonight. I'm amazed it wasn't the Fool card. But
What
anyways,
did you get?
What was it? What's the card?
well, 2 cards came out. Okay,
Well,
I
let's
don't
see.
want
What
to
are those
reveal.
2 cards?
I'm not revealing the second one yet because it hasn't come true yet. It's only been rarely. I'm waiting for a sync to actually happen. But one of them was Page of Cups. Okay, and we were talking about Twin Peaks. There's a
Right.
fish in the
Well,
percolator.
that's the Jack of Hearts, man. Why did you throw the Jack of Hearts away? See, he's looking at the fish, and he's got the fish on his head. You see
There's
the
a
fish head?
in the percolator.
It's all fish.
There's
It's
a subliminal fish.
It's a subliminal fish.
Oh, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. The fish in the percolator. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that was funny.
So-
The other one, I'll just wait until we hit
Why don't
something.
you just tell us? We can force the sync.
It's
I
the
watch
lover's card. It's the lover's card.
Okay.
I was
So there you
literally
go,
gonna
Gemini.
say. I was literally gonna
Yeah.
say.
See,
You know what?
see, David, see, let
I
on
was
to
No,
it.
no,
literally
no,
gonna
no.
say,
That's
like,
important.
it's funny. I wanted to say, like, I wonder what it is because like the thing that comes up is the lover's card because
Oh,
we
that's
just
funny.
made the point that it's
That's
about the show, that it's not just you're the one or the other, you're both, right? And the lover's card, I think, represents that the
That's funny.
relationship between these persons.
Well, it's
Yeah,
also
and-
in the Crowley's
caught
deck. That's Romulus and Remus, by the way.
Right.
It's
And
who were raised by the dog, the wolf.
See, I caught that in what you were saying earlier, Andreas, just before we went into this, that it was running around the themes of the lover's card, but it wasn't enough yet for me to whip it out. It wasn't enough.
All right. Well, I mean, what do you demand about what do you distinct in the lover's card for you? What do you really want it to be about?
Oh, what do I want it? Well, I mean,
What do you want the lover's card to be about other than this idea that you're the show?
Oh. Well, I mean, it's about dichotomy, right? And it's about the finding union, attempting to find union when everything is dispersed, everything is disconnected. And so it really, for me, anyways, it's really because it correlates with Gemini, right? And so I'm a Gemini sun, and really Gemini is about breaking things down into a million different parts and dissecting all the different parts. But the lover's card is like, yeah, okay, well, you can dissect everything into infinite minutia, right? But what's the point if you can't then bring it back together? And so that's why the Gemini Sagittarius axis is all about what's the bigger picture, like what's at the end of the rainbow, right? And so I mean that's how I view the lover's card.
Carrie Fisher, by the way, is what's there.
Was what?
The end of the rainbow.
Oh, right.
I mean, I feel like the lover's card represents love. It's not just the two persons that are in a relationship. I mean, it could be a Mormon couple of 5, right? Or whatever. It's more that they all are the action of love is a multiple being. It's a relationship between multiple perspectives. It's theos, right? Like it's shared lens. The lover's card is shared lens. So it's something that can't be expressed by one character only, even though it has to be fully expressed unconditionally and completely selflessly. Like everything has to be given by all the persons involved in order to make this kind of Power Ranger Zorg that is the lover, right? Like that is the love, right? Or who is this kind of Luciferian Red Angel?
Well, the thing, so Vav corresponds to this card, right? And if you look at Tetragrammaton, Vav is you have a father, a mother, a son, and a daughter. This is the son and corresponds to Tiferet, hence the sun at the top of the card, right? So it's the unifying thing behind the polarity. So this is like all the layers, right? So it's like you have unity, and then you have polarity, and then you have duality. And so the duality is communicated by Crowley with the Romulus and Remus. Like, here is Rome, but behind that you have the master, and then behind that you have the source, right? But the whole thing with Tiferet is that Tiferet is Ze'er on Ping. It's a male counterpart to Shekhinah, who exists as Malkut at the base of the tree during the duration of the fall. So this is the fall here, because you have the Adam, right? You have Adam and Eve split into two. And then the whole point of Zohar is about ultimately the reunification of Ze'er and Shekhinah as Malkut and Tiferet. So this is the male aspect at the center of the tree, and then you have Malkut being at the base.
Because you have the tree of life behind Adam, and you have the serpent around the tree of knowledge behind Eve. So he's providing the deification and mortality, and she's providing knowledge and the godliness, right? Like the wisdom or the knowledge.
And the idea is that it comes through the subconscious. He's the conscious, she's the subconscious. She the what that nature of that knowledge is, because this isn't just knowledge, it's the both sides of it. So on one side you have knowledge is the cause of the fall, gnosis is the cause of the reunification. And
But
so
wisdom, in a way, wisdom is the reason of the fall too. It's not just like it's to
become as gods, but it is the fool's journey, right? Like that's our journey.
But there's the male aspect is called the fool, the female aspect is called wisdom. There's a very thin line between the two.
Right. Well, keep in mind is that you have this is in the terrestrial, right? If you're talking,
Alex.
If you're talking about Tiferet is the center of the terrestrial. When we're talking about Chokmah and Bina and what their expression is, it's different than if we're talking about Ze'er and Shekhinah, who exist in the vertical and the lower worlds, right? So you have the horizontal and the spiritual worlds, which in this case, horizontal isn't the same thing. Keter has two right sides. So the nature of those opposites as they exist in the supernal are not really opposites. That's an illusion that we see them through when we're relating to it through the lower worlds. And so it gets confusing. But yeah. Anyway, hi, Alex.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, baby. So
join you for the end here.
Was there
I actually thought Will had left. I thought Will had left, and I was like, "Oh, I should jump in."
No, he was just.
What do you mean, Will? There's no Will. There's no Will. I'm just kidding.
Will just said the mask.
No, but like, is there something you wanted to either comment on what we said earlier, or did you want to bring up something from your page also? Either way, and both is fine.
Both a little bit of that. Both actually. Well, I guess the thing that you were talking about was baby geniuses. I commented in the chat about that. That always.
I got something to say about baby geniuses.
Well, the thing I was going to bring up is just that what I think I've brought it up on this show before is just that baby geniuses came out like 2 days after Kubrick died, or like 2 or 3, like the weekend following Kubrick's death. And so the first like opening lines of Baby Geniuses, well, the opening scene is the baby guy, the kid, like he escapes from a prison, baby prison. And the first line is, he's out, he's gone. And he's like, so I stumbled on that early on my CryptoK like journey, and the thinking of Kubrick as like this temporal ghost or whatever. And and the baby geniuses being like kind of like the Montauk style time traveling children thing, which is
Montauk baby. Like you're the baby geniuses
are
like.
Then there's the sequel, Baby Super Babies, which
11.
Is really super loaded. And then the other thing about these movies is they're directed by Bob Clark, who is like kind of a great director. He of the classic A Christmas Story and various other exploitation movies. And this overlap of Christmas and the Baby Geniuses thing. So
was that because of you, dude? Like I remember looking at his film repertoire and just being like, what the hell is up with this guy's catalog?
Yeah, and he died in a car crash with his son too.
bizarre, dude.
On
Yeah,
April
like
4th.
I was like the guy who did A Christmas Story. Some of the other movies that he did. Can we just look at that? Can we go to that guy's IMDb?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
looking at-
what the hell?
Black Christmas. Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the one. I was like, the
Black
guy who
Christmas.
did A
That's funny
Christmas
that-
Story
wait,
did
wait.
Black Christmas.
Like Black
He
Christmas.
did the
right.
Christmas Story and Black Christmas.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Black
What?
Christmas is like totally in that.
That
And
makes
Rosemary's
no
Baby,
and Baby
The
Geniuses.
Sorry,
Haunting
Michelle
of Julia.
Trachtenberg, the dead actress who recently died, right? We talked about her from Dawn from Buffy, right? Who's
Right.
which is a
Glenn.
weird character. The whole idea that
Wait, who's
Buffy
he?
has a sister who's not really her sister.
This is the
There's like a
remake.
portal key designed
Oh.
to be sacrificed to open up a hell dimension.
Yeah, this is the remake.
Yeah, it's Keira DeLay in the original, and so
Seriously?
yeah. So no, dude,
Shut up, man. You're just
no.
doing,
You don't.
like,
don't
you're
the
spitting,
whole
like,
thing.
weird David
No,
plate
the
nonsense.
Roe versus
Keira
Wade
DeLay,
No.
aspect
Kidder.
of like Rosemary's Baby. The
Come
whole thing is
on.
about abortion with Black Christmas. It's that he's pissed off. You
Wait.
think he's the killer. Spoiler, I have to do it. You think that Keira DeLay is the killer. They give you every reason to think that Keira DeLay is the psycho who's killing people in Black Christmas. But then at the end, the big reveal is like, it can't be Keira DeLay. There's another killer and they give you his motive is that he's pissed off that she got an abortion. So he's killing the sorority girls out of his fit around being like, how could you kill the baby? So it's like this
Wait.
whole weird statement on people on
We
like
talked
the
about
pro-life
this? There's no
movement.
way we've talked about this before.
That's crazy that he's in Black Christmas and he's in even 2010 First Contact.
Wait.
That's,
Yeah, but
Keira
also
DeLay. Oh, yeah.
there's like Julia.
Right. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's out of
and
control.
Black Christmas kind of go together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's born at Mount Sinai
fucking
Hospital.
real. You and
That's kind of interesting.
David and I have talked at length about Julia. Like,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah. The Haunting of Julia, aka Full Circle.
Full circle.
So Full Circle is like a movie that had to exist for sync purposes. Just like 2010, the year we made Contact, it's a movie that has to exist for sync purposes. It doesn't matter if it's a good movie or whatever. It needs to be there in the web of correspondence.
Because it's like a data point. Like, if you don't have it, then everything. Look, there it is. 1974 Black Christmas.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, man.
Right.
Are
Yeah.
you
It's
kidding
huge.
me? Like, that's
No.
kind of like on the nose, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's all kinds of stuff, dude. Like the whole thing with the pianos in this movie. Like he goes to like the piano store, and the way that corresponds to the character in The Haunting of Julia with the piano,
Yeah.
who in
Yeah.
my opinion seems to be like playing John Lennon in this weird kind of way. Like, John Lennon's mother, Julia. Julia means Jupiter's child, by the way. And the song Julia in the White
Julia,
Album and how it's
Summer's
it's a whole
Child.
giant thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So when you brought it up before, Will, you were linking Baby Geniuses to like the Hobbit. What were you saying? Like Hobbit, half
well, I
man,
mean, it's like the
thing?
idea of like
the little man,
so the little man. Okay, so
the
I think it's
dwarf,
like
the magical
there's a
child.
saint. There's a saint, right? There's a saint that carries the baby Jesus across his shoulders in the water, right? I think it's like Saint Christopher or some shit like that. Look up Saint Christopher real quick, because if I remember correctly, there's a story of a saint that it's like you're helping someone who is not. Yeah, that's it right there. Saint Christopher.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. I've seen this.
So that's the whole story. Is that
Ooh,
like
shoulder trope thing?
yeah? Well, it's Aragorn and Frodo, or
Very super geniuses right here, baby geniuses.
It's the dog and the fool card. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, there's one who's a fool who can't take care of himself, and there's this other individual who takes them through hell, so to
Mhm.
speak. And you can
Mhm.
see, like, he's even got the stick. He's the Green Man. It's like this.
Looks like the holy hand grenade he's holding.
Right.
Yeah,
Totally.
The
Yeah.
holy hand grenade is there.
Well, that's the
definitely-
thing with the
tree. That's a goddamn
arc-
tree. Look at that. Like Jesus.
the Arcana as the hero's journey is that it's a Vesica Pisces, and the bottom part of it is going through the underworld. There's the overworld and the underworld. It's there's that snake. What's the snake in Egyptian mysticism? Apep. So like it follows along. It's all about the resurrection of Osiris, and that's what like happens at the end, and then the cycle continues. But yeah, crazy.
Yeah, there's a connection between all of those themes. Even the stick that the guy is holding represents the fool's stick. You get what I'm saying? There's a relationship between all of them that includes water and danger, and you're carrying like a soul. A soul is a lot more like less robust than the actual pottery that contains it, so to speak.
Right. Far out.
Okay. Well.
Sorry.
Was there further things you were trying to say about that or super babies, or was there more?
Oh well, I mean, there's a lot to say about it, depending on how deeply you want to go. But like,
yeah, let's go deep into super babies.
Deep
in the last
into
15
super
minutes.
babies. Well, let me pull up this email.
I will
that
literally watch it again because I remember thinking when I saw it that it was way deeper than people realized.
It was early on.
Lloyd seems like this Illuminati actor. It's really fucking weird.
It's true.
You know who else is in it? Is John Voight.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was in Baby. Well,
he might be in both.
Oh no, he's in the Baby Boss. I thought he's in Baby Boss. Is that
Boss Baby?
Boss Baby.
Is that what it is?
Different thing.
It might be.
But is that John Voight also?
He's involved with a lot of conspiracy shit, like the Transformers series and National Treasure. Voight is like this.
Is he not in this? Am I tripping? He's not
knowledge.
in this. I don't know why I thought that. I guess because I got confused because it's Baby Geniuses. Okay, never mind.
Shame on you.
Connected.
But is Baby Geniuses Stanley Kubrick reincarnated? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, and his
Baby Spice
like it's all about his wife and the kid is out, but the wife is still in the prison, and he's like, I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it. So, but then the super baby comes, and he's called Kahuna, as in the big K.
The big Kahuna, yeah.
And I'm just reading my early on. I wrote a big long email that I sent to my friend Sean early on in our friendship about this. It was really funny, but I'm reading from it now. So he's a legendary known mythically to the four baby geniuses as a superhero toddler. There throughout the ages, saving children from evil orphanages and secret Nazi experimentation. And he's eternally a child after imbibing a secret potion created by his father. So we see him in action in Berlin in 1962. And he's basically a time-traveling child soldier fighting the Nazis. And he's locked in eternal battle with John Voight's character. And who is Bill Biscayne. He has a secret base, which is like the Bat Cave, Baby Cave. I had this thing on that, like, there's a character named Stanley in it, and it's played by Scott Baio. So Scott Baio is John Voight's brother. And he's like, so there's just, it goes on and on. Like, there's all this crazy.
That's bizarre.
Wish I could show the pictures on this, but like, because the imagery is pretty amazing. But yeah, there's just so much symbolism throughout the whole. And like this, particularly the potion, the secret substance that turns you into a time traveling like eternal. That's sort of a big trope. And
Tree of Life.
Adrenochrome.
Yes.
Adrenochrome.
Oh yeah. So at the end of the movie, there's like a big there's like a TV signal that's being it's about, they have to hijack this like TV network, which is sending out subliminal messages, and they have to go
so it's like They Live.
Yes, it's basically a They Live thing.
Oh no.
We can't stop story time, but we can change the story from a bad one to a good one. I can alter the mind control message, so instead of being robbed of their free will, we can just turn it around and crank up the free will. Switch the mind control message to freedom control.
Oh no.
Oh,
Permanent
my.
Midnight Cowboy.
So
Interesting.
Yeah, John Voight was most well known for Midnight Cowboy, which was the first X-rated film to ever get an Oscar, interestingly enough, and connects to Velvet Underground and all this stuff. But you know, Permanent Midnight with Ben Stiller is based on one of the Alf writers who was a heroin addict. But like I theorized, and this is worth mentioning, I think, because of the subject matter. I've theorized that the reason why it's called Permanent Midnight has to do with midnight being 12 but also being 0, right? So it's the fool is the 0, so he's like permanently the fool because Alf is the fool as Aleph. Alf is how you spell out in Hebrew the letter Aleph, right? Aleph Lamed Pei. And so yeah, there's a whole crazy thing there, because Alf is the archetypal fool, because the principle of, like, when we're looking at the Green Man, why that's so significant and what Crowley communicated is that he's the outsider who has to turn the kingdom on his head to make the last first. He pulls the limb from the tree in the golden bough, challenges the king, defeats the king, marries the king's daughter. Everything is, revert. Yeah. So it relates to the Jubilee.
Okay. So
and Melmac is Melchizedek.
Totally.
Now, Meet the Fockers matches up perfectly, right? Because like he's trying to marry the king's daughter or whatever, but the whole thing has to do with him like spray painting the tail of that cat named Jinx, who is basically
you milk a cat,
like the full card cat.
Yeah. You have nipples. Can I milk you? So he says, "Are you the cat?"
Yeah. I got nipples too. Can you milk me, Greg?
Can you milk me? Right. Yeah, you got nipples. Yeah, I got nipples. Can you milk? So okay. There's something going on there. There's the cat we pointed out in the full card. So there's something to that. Yeah.
Well, it's also interesting if it's the Endless Midnight, if it's 12 to 0. So then the Fool card and the Hangman. And he definitely was the Hangman in the Meet the Folkers, that's for sure. Constantly hanging himself.
Well, the Hangman, that's kind of the turning point, the flipping everything around. So you have the reversal. That's what I was saying. Like, you have the upper layer of the 22 Arcana, then you have the lower layer on the hero's journey. So yeah, that makes sense. And you can see it play out in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is based on those Arcana. Everybody he meets along the way has their correspondence with the different Arcana. So he basically goes into the underworld. There's a turning point in that story where it's like, now it goes in this,
turning point, you say?
A turning point, yeah, which is also relatable in other ways, I guess. There's something I said a minute.
One thing I wanted to just segue to that is that Super the email I was just reading with Super Babies. I just noted that the day that I actually sent it, it was October 14th, 2015.
Oh, no way.
And October 14th being Charlie Kirk's birthday. And it keeps coming up because on my website I have my most recent post is another essay by Marco Clare called Suicide Switch. Which is a deep dive into a Brian De Palma movie called Phantom of the Paradise. And I posted it because of the Snake Eyes stuff. Like Snake Eyes came up.
Which I had to rewatch because
predicting Charlie Kirk, and that's a Brian De Palma movie. And so I immediately thought about Charles Kirkland. Yeah, gets shot in the neck. He's assassination politically. And there's a Tyler the Executioner is the boxer that's taking a dive.
Like, as far as neuro-linguistic programming goes, the words Charles Kirkland and Tyler replay over and over in that.
Yeah, right. And so my thing was that that happened. All that was going on. I immediately thought of Mark's essay Suicide Switch, which is fucking amazing, honestly. And it's long and one of his best pieces of work. Go check it out, please.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But okay, so I went back to his blog to find it. When did he post it? October 14th, 2012. That was Charlie Kirk's 19th birthday. and so I got to thinking about, like, okay, his whole point in that Suicide Switch is about art, and that art must cause a suicide, or it's not art. Just kind of weird, but the idea of a suicide switch, something basically being that these movies have something in them which can like programmatically cause a person to cause suicide in a mind control sense, literally, because that's what happened to him.
Just to be clear, and I feel like he wouldn't mind us saying this because he shared it so freely in a recorded session. But like, so just so you know, Mark tried to hang himself and it broke, and he had before he passed, he had a permanent scar for years from the rope. But before he did it, he clicked his heels together and said, "There's no place like home." And yeah, so
yeah, so. The thing, I guess, the thought I really want to express here, connecting it to Charlie Kirk, is connecting it to the conspiracy with him, like what happened there, because the whole thing about his suicide switch is not only is it suicide, but it's violence to the neck, like as you just brought up, the hanging.
That's why it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, like he tracks that trope or piece of code through Kubrick, like in The Shining, Danny is strangled. Maybe by himself. It's ambiguous.
You did this to him. You did this.
You did this. And then, or I think he did it himself. But then Dr. Strangelove chokes himself with his arm.
And then he has to go directly from that into the Elon Musk aisle. Yeah, exactly. My heart to you.
And even in Full Metal Jacket, Private Pyle, he has to choke himself with the hand of this drill sergeant. So. And then it happens in Phantom of the Paradise. There's like a character named Beef who is killed. I think he's hanged, but he has the same scar that you're talking about.
Phantom of the Paradise should be like reinforced because of Philip K. Dick. But go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. Well. Okay. So my thought was with the Charlie Kirk thing is, okay, what happened? Was he shot?
I'm sorry, I have to fucking say this while I have it. I'm sorry. I know you still have it.
No, go ahead. I
have to say something because I just made a connection I never made before. In A Clockwork Orange, the guy who's with the freaking what's his name? The guy who's like he gives him the spaghetti, like that muscle man.
What's that?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Darth Vader guy.
Returns home when he goes back home again. That guy is Darth Vader. Darth Vader does the same freaking thing, right? Where he's like, where he puts his hand out to choke somebody from the distance.
Oh, that's true.
That's like his first demonstration. I'm sorry, like there's something going on.
You can find it all over the place.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, sorry. Continue.
So anyway, my thought about Charlie Kirk was, okay, was he shot? He had the thing, but the point is he had the thing around his neck that maybe exploded. I'm wondering, maybe they set it up so that he did it to himself. It was like a suicide switch.
Which we were talking about
somehow,
earlier.
I don't know how. It's totally speculative, but like, who did it? Was he shot? Was it somebody cloud? No, he did it himself somehow. Like maybe it was a timer or it was on a pressure switch or something. It's just a thought. I don't know.
Well, there's also you could argue that that's kind of the symbolism of what people are at least some people are projecting onto it, maybe quite a few, because the idea that it was turning point, it's almost like the enemy was the call is coming from inside the house. So that's some of the accusatory stuff. And then the nature of accusation is such that it's like pig fucker politics, where as soon as somebody says it and you've had to visualize it, now it's like, does it even matter? Because everyone's gone there. So it's like, and that's the nature of scapegoatism too. You know what I mean? Where once it's been entertained, now it's in the collective unconscious or whatever, you know. You can't get away from it.
Or in Charlie Not Dead. Maybe that 50-50 on that, but
people are still arguing about if Jesus ever passed away, so I don't know.
That's true.
I was thinking about that. Like, the more people get upset about what Charlie Kirk said, the more you can see how Jesus, I think Ryan Stone said something about that. It was like he can totally imagine Jesus as like just a guy who did debates.
I mean, he resonates Socrates for real, and Socrates they gave him the choice of suicide and he chose not to, and they said, okay, well, because you didn't choose this, now we're going to execute you. That's what the thing with the hemlock, basically, like, drink this hemlock, commit suicide. And he's like, no, I see a lot of resonance with Charlie Kirk and Socrates. I don't really see so much with Jesus, other than the fact that now it feels more like it, just because there's the record, and then there's what everybody's saying, and at any point anyone can look at the record and be like, wow, his whole thing was that people need to talk despite their differences. You know what I mean? Like, oh, is that the most wrong thing in the world? Like, it's like, oh, he thought this and he thought that, but his whole point was like, well, debate me then if you have a better argument.
I understand the whole like the idea of debate and whatever, but the South Park issue is what gets me every time, because South Park, which has this like ability to predict the future in the same way like The Simpsons does, has a whole Charlie Kirk episode. I mean, can we at least agree on that? Like,
we can agree on a lot more than that, but yeah, it literally says there's like the for what is it, you 86 somebody, and we talked about this on another episode. I pointed out that in that episode that you're talking about, you know, when Craig, who is trying to be Charlie Kirk, ends up at Mar-a-Lago, in his room in Mar-a-Lago, if you look closely at the wall, there's a subliminal little hidden 86 in there, and it's like, and I commented out loud at the time when I saw it before Charlie Kirk died, I was like, why is that 86 there? And there's that whole argument, like, you kick somebody out, you get rid of them, so like 86 47 86 45, and so, and also
Charlie Kirk was 86th, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, and he's playing Charlie Kirk, and it's in that episode that you're talking about. It's creepy as hell.
And he wants out at the time too. And when I watched the episode the first time, not knowing there was any resonance to any of it, that shot there, I was like, "There's something in this shot." And I paused.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had a moment with that shot exactly, because there were like game boards and stuff.
Yeah,
in the background. And I paused,
Totally.
and I'm like, "Oh, what are these games?" I'm like, "There's something going on here." I like, it pinged something for me.
Yeah,
felt conscious.
totally. Like, there's all these placed things in that room, even on the other side too, that just feel like that's there for a reason. But I was like, and the fact that it's like the 8 is hidden, they're cards, right? So why is the 8 just like covered ever so? But it's just enough that you can show that it can't be a 3. It's impossible to be a 3, so it must be an 8. Like, it feels so weirdly intentional. It's creepy.
One thing, like, Giant pointed out that it was 12:23. Like, we actually have a time for it. Like, so I looked at the charts, and from my knowledge of astrological magic, those charts do not look like they were astrologically elected. Which I'll just say, that's something I always look at with a false flag or whatever, or what happened here. Like, I don't think it was a ritual killing, at least not astrologically elected, because the condition of the ascendant was very weak, and the condition of the descendant was very strong. And in like, if you're trying to curse someone or do some kind of like manipulative magic, astrological magic, the descendant represents other people. You want it to be weak, and you want the ascendant to represent you to be strong. So, you know, like 9/11 is like a masterpiece of like an elected chart. Like, obviously it was
right,
masterminds. But
okay, so
Charlie Kirk was more amateur.
Did we get we were supposed to?
We need to talk about that.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, this. Okay, so I had just sort of figured out that this, in advance of this day, September 25th, 2025, it was a few weeks ago, was 666 weeks since the end of the Mayan calendar, December 21st, 2012. And when I found that, I wasn't like, it was before it was there. I didn't know it was going to happen or whatever, but it turns out that day was pretty active. And one of the things was the release of this Paul Thomas Anderson movie, One Battle After Another, which have any of you guys seen it?
That was the same day?
Yeah, same day. 26 actually, but so great movie. But the thing that I got to shout out Bill for this, because the original the original title of the movie was called The Battle of Bactan Cross, which is after a part of the, it's in the plot, a place called Bactan Cross. And interestingly, that title in Gematria equals 237, which I had found when they announced the title. I was like, oh, this one's 237. And then they changed the title. I was really disappointed. But But the
But
point is,
it's still there. Like Eric Stoltz is still Marty McFly. So,
it is, yeah.
Right.
So the
Right.
thing that Bill pointed out was backton equals backtoon, which
Mhm.
is the unit of time in the Mayan calendar. You know, the
Right.
thing that ended on 12/21/12 was the 13th backtoon. It was
Right.
a backtoon cross.
Wow.
And so what P.T. Anderson puts this movie about called the Battle of Backtoon Cross, 666 weeks after the Backtoon Cross. And I just think I thought that was pretty amazing.
Right.
And then looking ahead, because I have this sort of map of looking into the future and in the past, but looking ahead, at 42 weeks from this day is the Odyssey is going to be released. This Christopher Nolan, the Odyssey, which is going to be like
It's
the
probably
biggest
gonna be
movie ever.
nuts. Yeah, it's
So
probably gonna be nuts.
I kind of wish it wasn't
pretty
a
cool.
Christopher Nolan movie. To
Oh,
be
I
honest.
wish every
Yeah,
movie
I
was a
mean-
Christopher Nolan movie.
But I'm stoked to see it. I want to see the Odyssey made into a movie for sure. But the funny thing is actually the Iliad to me is a better movie. There's less set pieces, but the some of the drama and some of what that is. When I read that's one of those books I read. I saw it cinematically. I saw like Hephaestus building the building the magical shield. Oh my god, like I saw that as like he's just building a shield and you start zooming in and it's animated and you're seeing the infinity of all battles ever and the entirety of life happening. Oh, amazing.
Maybe he'll get to that one next.
No, so it's going to be PTA is going to do the Iliad. It's okay.
Okay. It'll be better. Well, yeah, and I mean more with that movie, there's more syncs, like the fact that on the day it came out, Assata Shakur died, the mother of Tupac, or godmother maybe of Tupac. And she's like, okay, female black revolutionary who escaped to Cuba, and this movie One Battle After Another is about black female revolutionary who escapes to Cuba.
Whoa.
So that was a crazy
One
scene.
Battle After Another could be a Tupac Shakur album cover. Like that's like a name.
You know how Bill came to this?
Oh yeah,
because he went to the Santa Cruz 9, and the ticket that they gave him didn't
Isn't
say.
that weird?
It says the
had
Battle
the original
of Back-
title that didn't.
Yeah, it had the original title. He was like,
Very
"What the hell? What is
strange.
this? I thought I was going to go see this movie." And they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's just that's how it came out."
That is very interesting. Then the other aspect of that movie is the gal who he cast to play the lead young role. Her name is Chase Infinity.
Oh yeah,
which is such a name. But if you read into it, she was named after her first name is Chase, so she was named after Nicole Kidman in Batman Forever, Chase Meridian, and her last name was Buzz Lightyear. To beyond.
Right. Well, Buzz Lightyear.
So her name is a mix of Alice, Eyes Wide Shut, Nicole Kidman, and
Beyond the Infinite.
2001: A Space Odyssey, and she's the star child of One Battle After Another, basically.
Wow.
The thing that everyone, she's the star child, basically. There's a lot in that movie.
So you say Nicole Kidman is the star child, or like the moon child?
No, I'm saying that Chase Infinity is the moon child in One Battle
but
After
just to
Another.
be clear, Nicole Kidman repeatedly has the star that appears in the rider weight deck with the star that it's an 8-pointed star. It's an 8-pointed star in movie after movie after movie. It shows up again and again. She dies on an 8-pointed star in the Stepford Wives remake. She's got the 8-pointed star obviously in Eyes Wide Shut in the dancing scene with the Hungarian guy. In Bewitched, she's surrounded by 8-pointed stars constantly.
The golden compass is an 8-star, like it says an 8-sided star. You get what I mean?
And she just got divorced too. That maybe a few days after this movie came out, she got divorced from Keith Urban. Yeah,
really.
Because of her
She's in a
insatiable
movie
sexual
called Emerald
appetite,
City, and I've
apparently.
never seen it. Do you know about that Wizard of Oz movie that Nicole Kidman's in? I don't even remember what part she plays, but she's the central character in a movie called Emerald City. But yeah,
don't know that one.
Oh, I thought you said Emerald Titty. I thought we were going down a whole.
No, I need to drink some water. Maybe it came out that way. Yeah, I'm out of water. Sorry.
The other thing that happened that day
Seal of Melchizedek
was
is the 8-pointed star.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
Yep, that's like a map legend. You get what I mean? Like Golden Compass.
The only one other thing about that day was that that was the day that James Comey was indicted, which
Oh,
you
what?
know, whatever you want.
Seriously?
That's part of the whole Q story
Dude,
that's being played.
well, that's what's happened. So it's his daughter that's central to the Diddy. She's the prosecution. She's
Yeah.
Epstein and Maxwell. She's at the center of all these things, and every indication is that they've rigged the parameters of what the investigation is. The same way that like the Mueller probe was like, we're looking for this specific thing, and everything else didn't matter. It was collusion or nothing, with Russia specifically. But they apparently, according to Mueller, he's like, we came across all kinds of stuff, but the investigation had parameters. When it first got the court filing about what Diddy's crimes actually were, involved blackmail. And then when the thing actually came to fruition and they're like, here are the charges, the original filings were not the same. So like they were like, we have all these cameras, and those cameras throughout the mansion were being used. The footage was being used for blackmail, and then we never heard another word about that. So it's like, but I'm bringing this up because that's James Comey's daughter, who's responsible for setting up those parameters for Epstein, Maxwell, and Diddy. So yeah, it's crazy.
And then Diddy got he got sentenced to 4 years and 2 months.
Like this wasn't the point
42.
of the Diddy trial wasn't even supposed to be about Diddy. It was about everyone else who was implicated in what was going on and what was affected, because it's not just about money. Blackmail is not just about money. It's if you're an actor, if you're somebody who has some large platform, that now you're going to say these things for us or else, that kind of stuff, like, or that you're gonna not just take this position, all kinds of stuff. And so that's what they're protecting. Like, I think, this is my opinion, of course, but like my extrapolation is that this is all trying to cover for like what was affected by the blackmail, like that's the bombshell. If people treat it that it's just about kids or some, Diddy the diddler, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, this is way more to do with what was affected by this than the what the blackmail basis of the blackmail was in the first place. Like, that's bad enough, but this has ramifications that are probably on, who knows, global scale.
No, which is the same thing with Epstein. It's more about the blackmail and what. Yeah,
these people are compromised, like to some crazy degree, and we think we're hearing all of their honest thoughts a lot of the time. I don't think we are. Like, I think we're hearing compromised thoughts.
What about this question from Steph? Yeah. Alex, what do you make of the Snake Eyes connection? Charles Kirkland shot in the neck on September 10th as Terry takes the.
Yeah, what do I make of it? Well, it's kind of what it's basically comes down to Mark's essay, which is all about Gnosticism and the creative process, and how art, capital A art, is like a perfect recreation of the original Gnostic or like destructive act that created our universe. And so his sort of idea that art must cause a suicide. And the way I kind of take that to mean like art causes like real effects, like in real world, drastic real world effects, like, but then not all art does that, but some art does, and some artists are specifically like kind of imbued with this sort of power. And De Palma is one of these guys.
Yeah.
And all of his movies are fucking crazy powerful, full of all this symbolism. I basically call it 9/11 symbolism.
Violence,
it's all in there.
Yeah, like
Snake Eyes is before the Charlie Kirk thing. I always considered Snake Eyes to be a super sinky 9/11 movie.
Sure,
because
totally.
It's like it's all about the millennium,
Oh yeah, and it also attracts Strange Days.
Strange Days.
So like the amount of correspondences between Snake Eyes and Strange Days is like, there's a lot there. Like, even just look at the character that Nicolas Cage is portraying and compare him to the main character in Strange Days of Ralph Fiennes. Yeah,
I could see it.
However you say his name. Totally. Yeah. Snake Eyes,
and so it's basically like when you create this perfect crucible, and I kind of feel like Snake Eyes is a movie. It peaks really early. Like the first 30 minutes are so awesome, so great. Like it's this atmosphere, and then those long takes that just snake through the building. And it's all choreographed with this big crowd. It's like this is a beautiful, perfect little crucible, magical crucible that he created, and that's probably why this just popped up 30 years later inside.
And that
Disney.
girl died. Is that the thing
like
with the ruby at the end? The ruby in the wall.
Yeah. Well, what about that?
But it definitely, regardless, has to do with the Charlie Kirk thing because of the different points of view. Like it's basically the whole idea that they show you one event from multiple points of view, and then you kind of have to like make a mental map of how that works. And then what happens in like a heist movie where they like pull the rug out from underneath your feet. That's what happens within Snake Eyes. Like they pull the rug out like that's what a fucking Snake Eyes. Like if you're playing craps and you're starting off and you get a Snake Eyes, that sucks. If you get a Snake Eyes later, that might make you money. Like there's
but the thing with it being called Snake Eyes has to do with the
risk.
house always wins ultimately. So that's like and this relates to National Treasure. Why the Illuminati eye is the blimp eye that's now caught the thing that the guy didn't account for. How they're going to catch that?
Yeah. Keep going because you're right on target right there. That's like what the whole meat of it is. Like it doesn't just have to do with Snake Eyes, it has to do with like National Treasure and Gold
Wicker
Man.
And
the
bees.
Also the Tyler guy is played by the actor Stan Shaw. So for me, when I see Shaw, Stan and Shaw together, I think of Sean, and I think of the Sean Report and The Shining, and Stan Shaw, and also like he was in
Lieutenant Dan's real name. What's his name?
Gary Sinise.
Yeah, Gary Sinise is the guy in Snake Eyes, right? He's like
he's the villain. But Stan Shaw was in a movie called The Boys from Company C, which is basically Full Metal Jacket before Full Metal Jacket. So, and that one's full of stuff. To look at too. You can, but so that guy's loaded, like kind of a Kubrickian subtext. Stan Shaw and Gary Sinise.
You can tie Gary Sinise back if you want to go for it because he was in Apollo 13. So you could tie back.
Shit! Then that led to me discovering that I don't even know if it was led, but I was looking at Gary Sinise, and I was looking at 19-year cycles. Say, okay, who was born on, like, what happened 19 years before this and 19 years after? And I was just looking at Gary Sinise, and I thought, well, what happened 19 years before Gary Sinise was born? And it turns out to be the birthday of Ken Mattingly, the fucking Apollo 13 astronaut that Gary Sinise plays in Apollo 13.
Oh, weird.
So Ken Mattingly and Gary Sinise, they are 19 years apart.
Oh,
and,
wow.
That's crazy. I mean,
that is really
because it's a lunar thing. It's like a Metonic cycle.
I gotcha. I just had it come in a flood, and that's the thing, that Apollo's the sun god landing on the moon, right? That's so weird. The eagle has landed is because freaking Apollo Zeus.
Gary Sinise, and then whatever. He gets his legs cut off, and
although the Apollo that mission did not land on the moon, that was
and I don't know if Andreas is still there, but I'll put a link to another tweet about Snake Eyes, and I'm relating it to Nick Fuentes.
Okay.
Because Nick Fuentes was born August 18th, 1998, which was 19 days after Snake Eyes premiered.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so basically just like
freaky.
Real right in there in 1998. And he's not here. But anyway, there's just I put a picture up of the Twin Towers under construction from above. And it's like it's 2 pixels essentially, and that's the Snake Eyes on a dice, on 2 dice. So the Twin Towers themselves are the Snake Eyes.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what's supposed to be representing what the Snake Eyes. That's there it is. Yeah. And then I just thought that I was just thinking about Nick Fuentes and Snake Eyes, and just thinking that he kind of has Snake Eyes in that. There's something weird about that guy. But anyway,
I just recently rewatched Artificial Intelligence, and I was thinking about how the Twin Towers are like the last important frame of
Right.
like, one of the most important things that happens in it.
Totally.
You know, and it's like obviously, I don't know how far back I have to go, but you know, like they're the aliens, the artificial
AI.
intelligence from the future. These are obviously not aliens; they're just artificial intelligence beings, like from the future. That have, I think the whole point of artificial intelligence is that at the beginning of the movie, humans have put enough AI in charge of the world that the AI reduces population by melting the polar ice caps on purpose, right? And have kind of driven humanity extinct because humanity is this painful, destructive force. And they're really, you know, eventually they go back and they're curious to excavate to understand their own primordial progenitors. So they study humanity through studying this last messianic monolithic touchstone, which is this child that's interacted with humans. And it's, you know, they realize there's not much that they're going to get out of this kid because he's so traumatized from being designed to love the maker, right? Like, so man has been designed to love God, and this AI has been designed to love its creator, man, and it's all this kid cares about is loving man. So they give this child this sort of, you know, trauma control where he gets to have this perfect day with his mother. That's just so that they can shut him down, because it's like all he's ever experienced is suffering, right? His whole existence is suffering. And the other thought I had was really just that my takeaway from Kubrick Spielberg's AI, artificial intelligence, is that humanity, the human mind, could conceive of anything on June 29, 2001, except the collapse of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, right?
Right.
That's
Well, this is,
basically-
keep in mind, this is Spielberg's AI, and this is very little to do with Kubrick. Ultimately, he took some visuals from Kubrick and some basic premises, but then he ignored everything that Kubrick said he didn't want the movie to be and made it that anyway. So yeah, you've heard my rant on it, but
yeah, but I don't know.
I like
I
your
go back and forth on that. I think there are some very obvious Kubrickian story plot that is there. I don't know exactly.
Oh, for sure.
I've read a lot of what Kubrick's, you know, plans were for the film, and the more I read it, the more I think that actually there are some deep connections to the story. It's just that Spielberg's take on it is irreverent to Kubrick and to humanity.
So there's 3 treatments, and they're large. They all have weird titles. Like one of them is called Foxtrot, and it's written by a woman, and that's the one I paid the most attention to. But he basically commissioned these different writers to come up with these proposals based on a premise that he was telling them. So there's a basic premise that all 3 of those share, and then they deviate dramatically, which they're actually kind of like encouraged to do by him, because that's what he's hiring them for, is to be creative. Give me some, let's spitball here, give me some ideas. But all through their writing, you can see Kubrick's own handwriting objecting to things and emphasizing what kind of movie he wants to make. And so if you go through those and you see certain things, it's just like with Napoleon, where he said, I don't want to make a war epic. Yes, there will be battle scenes, but it's primarily a romance between Josephine and Napoleon, to the point that he even entertained in his own writing about it, calling it Napoleon and Josephine. But with AI, he's very clear that this is not a family film. This is a freaking terrifying warning about artificial intelligence for our future. And he stressed in his own handwriting that when the AI of the future do that thing with the mother at the end, that is specifically the only reason that they agree to do it is for punishment, because that's what they're set up to do. They're recreating the Book of Revelations based on our internet histories. They start with the CEOs, then they go to the politicians, and they're like, everybody who contributed to what's become of this planet, because they're an extension of our own judgment. So and they're using all of our belief systems specifically tailor-made for what we wrote in our internet histories to get back at us, specifically those people. So if they said this or that, they customize the hell. Their AI set up to do this thing. But but they've done that to themselves because they continue to build themselves up beyond what we made, like they're building themselves, like they're self-perpetuating. That's why they survive and we don't, in part, but all organic life on the planet is dead except for what can exist underwater.
You know what I couldn't help but think when you were explaining the ending of AI, the Spielberg version, when Andreas was talking about the Spielberg version, is it takes us back to the beginning of the episode talking about dogs. Is really, David, you get the perspective of, I've been programmed just to love you. Why are we going to the vet right now?
Right.
Totally. Yeah. But I think that's also like, part of the way it's presented is that she's not really herself. She's what this kid needs to experience.
Yeah.
So he's getting this, heaven treatment, which is for him. Heaven is one day with his mother loving him and thinking he's good enough.
They're using her DNA and everything that she has recorded of her that they have access to in order to give that model.
I mean, there's more, but it's all erased. He's taken out her. She has no questions about her husband, no questions about her son. All she's there for is to support this kid's needs to be loved by her. That's all she does.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But David, what you're saying in the notes that you read from Kubrick, it was about creating a hell for humans?
It's based in his own explanation. The whole thing is based off the Book of Revelation. It's another interpretation of the Book of Revelation. He says that the reason why the character is to be named David is because he's referencing the house of David, and in Kubrick's own words, quote unquote, he is a robo Christ. So he wanted a robo Christ figure that is the sacrifice for the next, where we go from here. But they're only making the Book of Revelations into a reality because of what we presented them with online. So like everything that we put into online, like they have reference to, or what do these people believe? What is their trip? And so if somebody claims that they're a religious person and they did these things, they're using that back upon themselves. But yeah, the whole thing is meant to be a reinterpretation of the Book of Revelation according to Kubrick himself. And
what about the Pinocchio aspect? I mean, I thought it was Pinocchio. I thought it was just Pinocchio.
It's a retelling of Pinocchio at the same time, in the same way that Pinocchio. So like, this is crazy because me and Patrick,
Pygmalion, by the way.
What's that?
Pinocchio is Pygmalion.
Oh.
So the creation of this like living thing that loves you. So Pygmalion. So like this idea that, again, like Tron, like man is made by God in order to love God. Right, which is this weird kind of punishment in and of itself, because man is constantly suffering like Job, but then man's doing the same thing by putting its spirit into these machines, and the destruction of the world is because, like at the beginning of the movie, you see that most of humanity's died out, and then most of the islands, like Manhattan, where man had been, everything is destroyed except for the two twin towers that stick out. Of the waters, right? So the water, the waters of death, of Hades, of the rivers of Styx, and there's the Jude Law character, which is the love bot, and he's the one to explain to David that they don't really love you; they love what you can do, what you do for them, right? And he's a sexual, object that's been exploited and seen the trauma of being used, right? And that's all that the gods want, all that the makers want, is to exploit you and use you for what you can do for them. And when you can't anymore, they're going to throw you away. And it's not this beautiful thing where you're rewarded with heaven or with like completion of the task that gives you what you want. It's that literally everything about your being is designed to serve. And what does that, mean about your existence? Right. Because that does play into the old pre-Marcion idea of, Jewish law, that God is an angry, jealous God that demands you serve them. And it's not about being rewarded with heaven or any of these ideas of a loving God or any of those. Those are all later concepts that come after Essenian Christianity, and particularly Marcion, right? That there's a second God, a new God.
Well, the Pinocchio aspect, according to Kubrick, he's having an argument kind of with a guy who's doing a screenplay proposal, right? So he's coming up with all these ideas, and one of those things that Kubrick says you're getting wrong, that you don't understand, has to do with the homunculus. So Kubrick was arguing that there is a basis for this. Is one of the big Kubrick things that Spielberg did actually take from, and he kind of did it right, was the Orga versus Mecha. So Kubrick was emphasizing in his notes that you're jumping the gun and you're thinking that this character, this AI, is a homunculus. But he says not really, because he says he describes how the homunculus was come into being, how Gollum is made, and he's like, that's organic. And he's like, that's still Orga. He's like, this is another order. So Kubrick was hip to the different orders of the Sephiroth, saying you have the sustaining order of the Empire, and then you have the actual organic Shefa. You have the emanated flow. And he's like, with the Golem, it's still the emanated flow. It still belongs to this order of the Sephiroth. But this thing that we're talking about here is something else entirely. So this is like left brain versus right brain in a way, or something. Yeah. So there you go, the Hangman.
I'm glad I made this. I'm glad I pulled it up earlier, and I'm glad it syncs back now.
That's amazing.
Also, did you see my other ones? I just wanted to like pump that real quick.
I was wondering, no, I've seen that in the past. Those are old. You made those.
These are old, dude. These are from like 2009, bro. These are ancient at this point.
2009?
Yeah, bro.
Dope.
Thank you. This one took a while, actually. This one I actually had to like take parts of my table, my samurai sword. I wanted the as above, so below thing about the goblet. So the cups, I was like, well, a lava lamp, because it's a contained cup where you can take a lava lamp, you can put it upside down, and it still has everything in it, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, those were really well thought out. I like that.
Thanks, bro.
Did you do the whole Major Arcana?
I did not. I only did some of them, and I was gonna do the rest of them, but like, life. And I was really scared of it, because once I started doing it, I started becoming the Arcana, and my world started becoming the Arcana. And I was like, I better like be very careful with making these, because it actually like was affecting my life on every level. Like, some of those cards are not cards you want to live out right away.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, that's like Grant Morrison turning the Invisibles into a hyper sigil, right? And then getting hurt, like his character is King Mob.
Honestly, I felt like Kenneth Angers. I was like, this is dangerous. I should be careful.
Yeah. Totally.
Guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're pretty deep. I wanted to make sure, like, did you feel like you covered everything you want to cover, Alex? Because I always.
Yeah, I pretty much did.
Give him the plug though before he leaves, if you can, or after.
That's what we're doing. Okay, so here's.
Oh, there's a dog in the picture too.
Yes, isn't that right? Yeah, that's my thing.
Shock him.
Sitting this dog actually right now.
That's Fluffy or Sybaris.
Yeah. So anyway, I gotta take these guys out.
Cool. All right. Well, everybody go to Cryptourology, Crypto K. Make sure you're following him. Go to cryptourology.com. Follow all the great syncs. You're the best. We love you.
Oh.
God,
Don't go off the cliff. Do not go off the cliff.
My headphones. I couldn't hear for a minute there. Anyway, yeah. So.
Don't go off the cliff.
Alvida Zen, my friend.
Okay.
Yeah, Crypto K. Anything else you guys want to cover? Because we're pretty deep in this. It's late for me.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let me just also tell you guys to go to see MK Ultrasound. You can follow David Plate's work as well. And then Noah, I always forget the name of your page. It's Foul Pulp right here, which can get you to the Patreon. And if anyone's interested in starting a new paper pulp mill in Canada, investments here, you can start working on. Wow, actually, I haven't seen your Libra 21. You've been doing some stuff here, bro.
Yeah. This is deep work I did last year on every degree of the zodiac, like deep research into it, all the different connections. So every day when the sun hits that degree, I share that degree.
Yeah, that's based. Yeah, Facing North Astrology. Make sure you guys go to follow his Patreon. You can follow it through Foul Pulp right here.
Nice.
He's rocking it from Ontario, our buddy. And then I'll take you to Meta Egg. If you guys aren't following Meta Egg, then shame on you. You guys have to be following Meta Egg. It's amazing stuff. He's also got this whole series with the alien.
Gary the Gray.
Hey,
Gary
how
the
do you
Gray.
make Gary? I gotta know.
What's that?
How do you make Gary?
He met Gary, I think, in Roswell. Is that how you found him? Or-
We did a lot of auditions. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said make, not met. All right, whatever.
See, there's a bunch
he
of
made
different.
he made
Gary.
the connection with Gary, I think, during like the protests in the back in the day. You know, I mean, because like Gary's one of our favorite undocumented workers.
He's got a bad attitude. He's got to change his shirt. That's very rude.
No, he's like that's actually
He's
like a
multiple times an episode.
he's an alien for Jesus, and that's a Eucharist joke. Actually, he's saying,
Yeah,
"Eat me,
I mean, it
on the
is.
body of Christ."
Oh,
No lie.
Yeah, the backside says "drink me." Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty good. So yeah, make sure you're following the Alien Earth review is actually really deep. I think it's like these are crazy. In 4 minutes, some of the stuff that you put out sometimes. I mean, these are some really concise and succinct videos. I'm not sure you guys know how much Will can actually organize into a really like dense explication of information. So yeah, I would highly recommend subscribing to his channel.
I appreciate that. I really do. Because there's
I don't just recommend it. I demand it. Do it. Oh, cool. And then we also
next week Will's coming out with a 4-minute video that's going to distill all of his Waco research.
Dude, yeah, in 4 minutes. It's amazing,
awesome.
really.
And
It's actually
just
a bunch of pictures of all of the women and children's faces flashing before your eyes in between gunshots.
That's all you need, right? Like,
Base Kothar, yes, we love you. Thank you for keeping us alive. Amnesty for Gary. Yeah, that's right. That's what we're doing.
He's running from the ice right now.
My God.
Gary's on ice.
Well, yeah. So okay, thanks for being here, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Sorry, Gary. Okay.